Just a couple of minutes now, the NFL kickoff on Mutuo of today's AFC Championship game is the Sport King of the social set down in Columbia, Tennessee, in the colors of the rainbow, and he is really trimmed up today like a Buick Regal. Here's Mr. Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Al Wester. Hello again, everybody. The weather is a factor here for the championship game in the American Conference. A frozen field. The temperature at noontime officially was 16 degrees, but a 20-mile-per-hour wind out of the west made the latest chill factor that we heard of 13 below zero. The field was covered last night as it snowed. However, there was a rip in the tarp so that one end of the field was snow-covered when they rolled it off this morning. They've brushed that aside. They have spread some salt on the field. It is artificial turf, so we'll see what kind of an effect that's going to have on the game here this afternoon. Singing the national anthem with a color guard there representing all the services. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers have won the toss they have elected to receive. They will be defending the goal to our left as we look at the field. There goes Mike Collier, the rookie kickoff return man. He'll be center deep. Mel Blunt's coming over now. He'll be on the right side, and going over to the other side is Dave Brown. That triumvirate will receive the kickoff. Ray Guy is teeing the ball up on the 35. Guy does the kicking off now, of course. For the Oakland Raiders, George Blanda is used on the field goals, but Guy does the punting and the kicking off, since he has more drive in his leg than does the 48-year-old Blanda, who today will be setting another record when he appears in his 9th championship game in the American Conference. The referee today is Ben Dryce. The umpires are Demis. The headlinesman is Tony Viteri. The line judge is Bruce Alford. The back judge is Pat Knight. The field judge is Pat Millett. And the alternates assigned here today, Bernie Ullman and Frank Lever. Pete Rozelle, the commissioner of the National Football League, is here this afternoon. Here comes Guy forward. The ball is in the air. Mike Collier's moving up. Collier takes it at the 14, at the 15, 20, right to the 25, and he is stopped at the 28-yard line. Downfield to make the tackle, Jess Phillips. First and 10 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They held the ball at their own 28-yard line. And the quarterback, Terry Bradshaw, 165 passes completed and 286 thrown, 2,055 yards, 57.7 is completion percentage, 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's a 6-year veteran from Louisiana Tech, 6'3", 218 pounds. Here comes Lynn Swan, part of the right side. Frank Lewis, part of the left side, running back to Rocky Blauer and Franco Harris. Bradshaw's waiting for the snap now. Gives it off to Rocky Blauer. He tries off tackle right, but can't go. He's pulled down by Monty Johnson, the middle linebacker for the Oakland Raiders. No gain on the play. It's going to be second down. 10 yards to go at the 28.
Lindsey, they give you all kind of looks in that 3-4 that they set up there. They take 2 of the 4 linebackers, put them up on the line. It looks like a 5-2 sometime. And there was the middleman, the Mike man, Johnson, coming right through, blitzing through to make the tackle.
They have Sistock, of course, playing left outside in the 5. Second down and 10 to go now on the 28-yard line. This is Franco Harris. He's thrown for a loss. Firing through to make the tackle was Phil Filippiano, the linebacker on the left side, who had moved up on the line of scrimmage just outside Sistock at the snap, and he simply fired in and pulled him down for a loss.
There's exactly what I said a moment ago. Those linebackers sit up on that line. When you got 4 linebackers and 3 down linemen that are rushing, you set 2 outside men up there, and you can put them in there anytime you want. You can blitz, and they do blitz, all of them.
Much has been said about the Pittsburgh defense, but keep in mind, Oakland had the best overall defense in the American Football Conference. The ball is back there now at the 24, 3rd and 14. Bradshaw's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He's dropping straight back for his first pass of the afternoon. He guns this one, and it is taken on the far side. A completed pass to Larry Brown. Larry Brown, who is playing with a bandaged hand, gathered that one in. And it's going to be at the 37-yard line. Charles Phillips made the stop. It is not enough for the first down. It is going to be 6 have not yet been moved. They're going to be taken out and out of measure. They're going to measure for the possible first down. It did not appear to be in advance of the 6. They're taking them all the way across the field now to measure. If it is not a first down, then it will, of course, be 4th.
Brown is another one of the Pittsburgh Steelers who's had injury problems during the season. Shook them off, has caught 16 passes for 244 yards and a touchdown. When he caught that ball, if he'd have fallen forward instead of being driven out of bounds, he'd have had the yardage.
As it was, he did not pick it up. It is fourth down, and coming on is the punter now, Bobby Walton. Walton is a 12-year veteran from the University of Georgia. He averaged 39.4 during the regular season, his longest 67 yards. Dale Colsey is back. He broke the NFL record for punt return yardage in a season. Returned 48 for 655 yards, averaging 13.6. Colsey, a rookie from Ohio State, on his own 25-yard line. Bobby Walton on his own 25, waiting for the long snap. Mike Webster makes the snap. Walton gets it off. Moving over toward the sideline now, and there will be no return. It's inside the 20. Rolling back now to the 21. Down at the 21-yard line. 42-yard punt for Walton, and the Oakland Raiders start first and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
That's going to bring on the defensive unit of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm anxious to see if Joe Green is in there, although I think Steve Burness will start, along with L.C. Greenwood, Ernie Holmes, and Dwight White.
Green is in there. Number 75 is there, and the crowd has spotted him. The crowd has spotted Joe Green. He is starting the ball game. He has missed almost all of the last 5 games. Here's Kenny Stabler up there now. It's Marv Hubbard and Clarence Davis, his running back. Hands this one off, and it's taken by Clarence Davis. Tries to go to the left side. That's the way Oakland tries to run. Trying to establish right away a hole with Art Shell and Gene Upshaw, opposing Dwight White and Ernie Holmes. No gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 21. That's where the early battle is going to be fought. On the left side, Art Shell and Gene Upshaw against Dwight White and Ernie Holmes. There is no score. We're in the first quarter. Now, here comes Branch, far to the left side. Cliff Branch, number 21. Blunt moves up there. That's another battle that'll be fought. Contact there, and here's a pass that is complete, taken by Bob Moore, the tight end. Bob Moore, 5-year veteran from Stanford. Andy Russell came in to make the tackle. Ball is spotted at the 25-yard line for 4. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Before going to Stanford, Bob Moore was a baseball star in high school. He was the number 1 draft choice in the free agent draft by the New York Mets in 1966. He chose Stanford and football instead.
With the doubling on those outside receivers, Stabler has thrown more to Moore in the last 4 games. He's completed 16 passes to Bob Moore.
Branch is out to Blunt side of the field again. Stabler now dropping back. Takes a look, the left-hander throws, and it's complete. Taken by Ciani up across the 42, falling to the 44-yard line. Mike Ciani starting in place of the injured Fred Biletnikoff, who is out with a knee injury. J.T. Thomas made the tackle. 1st and 10 for the Oakland Raiders. They have the ball at their own 44.
Jack Lambert came in from the middle linebacker spot to help out on that tackle. But the linebackers are going to play a big part in this football game. And remember, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell, Lambert, and Ham, all 3 have been named to the Pro Bowl. That's just how good they are.
Last year, Cliff Branch literally ran Mel Blunt out of the ball game. Took 9 passes for 186 yards, and Blunt was taken out. Here's Hubbard carrying. 1st down today, comes to the left side. The side Oakland likes to favor. It's at the 49 for a gain of 5. It is 2nd down and 5 yards to go. Ernie Holmes, Jack Lambert coming in to make the tackle. Jack Lambert, as Al Wester noted, making the Pro Bowl team for the first time. He's only a 2-year man, a middle linebacker. Kent State, 6'4", 215. Lambert's one of the fine ones.
Offensively, in the offensive line of the Raiders, Art Shell and Gene Upshaw. And Cliff Branch, the whole left side of the line are Pro Bowlers.
Here comes Branch now, lined up opposite Blunt once again. Kenny Stabler waiting for the snap. They keep it on the ground. This time to Clarence Davis. Comes left, goes outside, and gets to the 45-yard line of Pittsburgh. Mel Blunt bounced him out. Blunt led the league in interceptions with 11. He also had 1 in the first playoff game. 6-year veteran from Southern. A gain of about 6 yards on the play. Being spotted there near the 45-yard line. 1st and 10. 1st and 10. They took a long look. So it's the 2nd first down on this drive for the Oakland Raiders. They have the ball in Pittsburgh territory at the 45-yard line. Marv Hubbard, the 7-year veteran from Colgate, was out a good deal of the year with an injury. He picked up only 294 yards, but averaged almost 5 yards per carry. He's backed up by Pete Banaszak. Clarence Davis picked up 486, had 4 touchdowns. He's from the University of Southern California. Now Stabler back to throw. Takes a deep drop and guns it. Short, trying to get it to Ciani. Ciani was the man he was trying to get it to, but he was short, and he was sat up on the seat of his pants by the Pittsburgh Steeler pass rush. Ernie Holmes and Dwight White converged at that point. It is 2nd and 10. Oakland at the Pittsburgh 45-yard line.
34 yards. The Raiders have been able to move the football from their own 21. They're in the territory of the Steelers at the 45, and here comes a big play for them.
They are doubling Bryce and Ciani over the Blunt side of the field. He's getting help from Glenn Edwards, the free safety. Instead, they leave it on the ground, and it is taken by Hubbard. He goes to the left side, and he picked up a couple of yards and was thrown back by Holmes and Andy Russell. Forward targets will be marked at the 43-yard line. Jalen 2, it's going to be 3rd down and 8 yards to go.
Lindsey, there's a great fight up in that offensive line there by Art Shell, the Pro Bowler and all-pro left tackle of the Oakland Raiders, and that big defensive right end, Dwight White of the Pittsburgh Steelers. These fellas are really going at it hammer and tong. Watching them in the glasses, that's some kind of a battle.
Dwight White said first he would have to win his battle against Art Shell, but they don't call Shell Old Angus for nothing. He's 6'5", 265-pounder. Davis and Hubbard. But Stabler is dropping back to throw. Takes a look and he got it. And it's incomplete. He tried to get it to Davis coming back. He tried to get it to Davis hooking. Davis started to hook and he slipped out. So now it is 4th down and 8 at the 43-yard line. And the punting unit comes on. The punting unit comes on from Oakland. Incidentally, longer than 40 yards in field goal attempts this year. Blanda was 0 for 6. So the punter, Ray Guy, is in there now. Guy, of course, led the league in punting. He averaged 43.8, his longest 64 yards. Once in college for the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg. He booted the ball 93 yards against Ole Miss. Hands outstretched. He's waiting now. Gets a low snap, but gets it up now. Puts it high. Brown and Collier let it go, and it's going to be a touchback. It'll be brought out and put in play. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Ben Rice is the referee assigned here this afternoon. 20-yard. There was a glittering reception held at the Allegheny Club here last night for all of the visiting press and dignitaries here. With the score, Oakland nothing, Pittsburgh nothing. There's a timeout on the field now.
Well, with this slippery turf, as Davis found out a moment ago, trying to move to his left, they're going to have to go to the air a little bit more today than expected, perhaps. And we've got 2 fine passers in Stabler for the Oakland Raiders and Bradshaw for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, on the year, Bradshaw was number 4 passer in the AFC, completing 165 out of 286 for 2,055 yards and 18 touchdown passes. On the other hand, Stabler was down the ladder a little bit. Down the line, he was number 8 in the standings, the AFC, completing 171 passes in 293 attempts for 2,296 yards, and he had 16 touchdown passes. The favorite receivers, of course, in the ball game today, we'll have Lynn Swan and we'll Pittsburgh, and of course Cliff Branch for Oakland.
Terry Bradshaw up calling signals. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. On the ground it goes to Franco Harris, who picks up 5 yards. Just short of the 25, Otis Sistrunk coming in to make the tackle. Franco's first carry of the day. It's 2nd and 5 now at the 25-yard line. Franco Harris, who picked up 1,246 yards during the season, averaged 4.8 and had 10 touchdowns. And into the bargain, he caught 28 passes. Going forward to the left side, Frank Lewis, 5-year veteran from Grambling, had 17 receptions. He's had 1 so far in this ball game. Rocky Blyer is getting the hand, Franco Harris. Now he's reversing his field as he tried to go to the tackle hole and had to come back and is thrown for a loss. George Atkinson made the tackle. Franco was closed off as he tried the left tackle hole. Tried to come back and reverse his field, but is thrown for a loss of 2 at the 23.
Ted Hendricks was blitzing from the right side, and Rocky Blyer, who does most of the blocking up there to lead Franco Harris, hit into him, drove him out a little, but Hendricks came right back and clogged the hole.
Unless I miss my guess, Hendricks will be coming on about 80% of the plays this afternoon. Plays right outside generally. 3rd and 3. The Mad Stork from the University of Miami, picked up from Green Bay where he played out his option. Now Bradshaw is back. The rush is on. He's scrambling out. Running with good mobility. Throws it upfield on the run. Complete to Lewis. Inside the 45 of Oakland. Out of bounds at the 43. Jack Tatum knocked Lewis out of bounds at the Oakland 43. First and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Johnson, Thomas, and Tatum, all three were there. They had a triangle on him, but that pass was right on the money. Beautiful shot.
They picked up 33 yards on the pass play. Terry Bradshaw to Frank Lewis. Second catch for Lewis today. And now the Steelers, the defending world champion, are in Oakland territory. Oakland playing a 3-4 with Tony Klein out with an injury. Neil Cosley is playing in place of Willie Brown on the right corner. He's a rookie. They'll try him out a time or two today. Now it is Rocky Blyer coming off right tackle. Gets to the 40-yard line for three. Second down and 7 yards to go. Monty Johnson, the middle linebacker, 3-year veteran from Nebraska, came in to make the tackle for Oakland.
Strong side linebacker Phil Villapiano over there jammed the play, came in, took both of the blockers. He had two men out in front of him. He had the left guard, Jim Clack, pulling and leading. He had Rocky Blyer there, but when you get that one man in there, it jams the works up. Nobody knows whether the other guy's going to block him. He just blocked it in completely.
Lynn Swan is split to the right side, had 49 receptions and 11 touchdowns during the season. Now dropping back is Bradshaw, pumps once, throws, and it is intercepted at the 27. It is taken by Jack Tatum. Jack Tatum is back at the 35-yard line. Tatum had 4 interceptions during the regular season. He picked that one off, and so Oakland gets the football. Oakland led the league in interceptions during regular season play. There's a timeout with the score. Oakland nothing, Pittsburgh nothing. Now this word.
An injury on the play, shaken up. One of the players for the Oakland Raiders being helped off the field. We'll find out who it is in a moment. The other game later on from the West Coast in expected 65-degree weather, the National Conference crown will be decided between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. The big question there is whether Rams quarterback James Harris really is ready to play. Because of a bruised shoulder, Harris hasn't seen any extensive action since December 7th, but Coach Chuck Knox says he's the one who did it for the Rams during the regular season, and Harris is the one he will go with today. The Rams, who never had been to a Super Bowl, are a touchdown favorite, mainly because of a defense that permitted only 135 points during the regular season. The Los Angeles-Dallas meeting is the third of the season for the two clubs. As we mentioned, I think earlier, the Rams bombed the Cowboys in exhibition play, and then Dallas stunned the Los Angeles Rams in the opening game of the season by a score of 18-7.
Terry Bradshaw popped that ball right into the hands of Jack Tatum at the 20-yard line, and Tatum brought it back out to about the 34-yard line. It's touching the 35, that's what we'll call it. Bradshaw completed 2 of 3 attempts for a total of 46 yards, has had 1 interception. Stabler, on the other hand, is 2 for 4 for 23 yards, no interception. All right, down on the field, Lindsey, it'll be the Raiders putting it back offensively into play.
They'll have it first and 10 at their own 34. Keep in mind that of the 40 players selected for the Pro Bowl, the All-Stars, 16 of them are playing in this game today. This is the 4th consecutive year that the Steelers and Raiders have met in the playoffs. The Steelers are leading 2-1. Hubbard and Davis, the running backs now. And it's Davis off tackle left. Mother, Block pulls him down. Mel Block pulled him down back at the 31-yard line. A loss of 3. It'll be 2nd and 13. Again, they try to go to the left side. That's what they favor. They try to go behind Art Shell and Gene Upshaw. That's White, Stripe White, and Ernie Holmes.
Well, Chuck Noll has something a little extra up there now. He had thrown Andy Russell up on the line, and Andy came blitzing through there, and Blunt had moved up right on the line also, just a step off of his shoulder. The 2 of them were there to stop any kind of a sweep. That's a little different defensive wrinkle.
Siani in place of Biletnikoff, far to the left side. Stabler dropping back now. Takes a look, goes up the middle, and it is taken by Siani. And Siani is at the 45-yard line of Pittsburgh. So the Oakland Raiders have moved into Pittsburgh territory. J.T. Thomas came in to make the tackle. First and 10 for the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, brother, you talk about defensively working and expecting the pass. All three of the linebackers had taken the deep drop. Andy Russell, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, all three of them were 15 yards deep on the play, and he was still able to just stand straight, Stabler, and pump it in there.
A sellout crowd of more than 50,000 on hand, and we don't see an empty seat. Someone had speculated because of the weather there might be no shows. I don't think so. Here's a handoff taken by Marv Hubbard. The veteran pulled in there and was popped by Ernie Holmes. Ernie Holmes popped him. And it's right at the 45. Call it no gain. He gained about a foot. Second down and 10 yards to go.
Holmes didn't put the big rush on him there. He stood back about a step or two instead of driving it across and putting the quarterback rush on. He was expecting that up the middle, and he played it just perfectly.
The winner of this game, of course, plays the winner of the Los Angeles-Dallas game in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 10 to be played in Miami on January 18th, a Sunday afternoon. Now Stabler hands it off again to Clarence Davis. Davis goes to the left side off guard. This time gets inside the 40 and on down to the 37-yard line. He picks up 8. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Dwight White, 5-year veteran from East Texas State, 6'4", 255 pounds, made the stop.
Boy, the offensive middle there came crashing forward, jumped off the ball, cleaned the way, Upshaw, Dalby, Bueller, the two guards in the center. Great blocking up in the middle.
Now coming in is Dave Casper, the Notre Dame as a tight end in place of Siani. Pete Banaszak is coming in place of Marv Hubbard. 3rd and short. So they're playing a double tight end, and they've got Banaszak. They like to give it to him on short yardage. He scored 96 points this year. Banaszak, 1st and 10. Pete Banaszak, 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line of Pittsburgh. The Oakland Raiders driving. Jack Lambert came in to make the tackle. Pete Banaszak picked up 672 yards, was the leading rusher this year for Oakland. Averaged 3.6 per carry, had 10 receptions. He's a veteran. This is his 10th year. He played in Super Bowl II for Oakland, defeated by the Green Bay Packers. Pete Banaszak.
What a ball game. Scoreless in a battle, a real battle going on right now with the Raiders beginning to threaten.
Siani to the right side, Bryce to the left side. Ken Stabler dropping straight back to throw now. Takes a look at Bryce, but he throws to the trailer, and it's intended for Davis. Making the move on him was Andy Russell, the linebacker, but he was going for the ball. It's simply an incompleted pass. 2nd and 10 at the 33.
And Russell playing with a gimpy leg, one that's given him trouble for the last 3 weeks, playing some great football. As we pointed out, Russell, Lambert, and Ham, all three linebackers, already selected for the Pro Bowl. Incidentally, in that defensive unit, there are 7 members in the 76 Pro Bowl 2 weeks away.
Last week, Andy Russell picked up a fumble and rambled 93 yards on a run that could have been clocked on a calendar. Here's a draw play, and it's taken by Banaszak, and he is still at the 31-yard line. Andy Russell came in to make the tackle. A gain of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 8. A big 3rd and 8. So now the pass defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers will be looking. We pause for station identification. This is Mutual, your network for news and sports.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Al Wester, John Morad, and our Mutual crew here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. 3rd and 8 for Oakland. They have the ball at the Pittsburgh 31. Dropping straight back is Stabler to throw. He looks. He's got plenty of time, and he throws it incomplete. Again, it was Russell making a move on Clarence Davis. He just got a fingertip on it. Andy Russell making a move on Clarence Davis. And now 4th down and 8 yards to go. And here comes Guy. Here comes Ray Guy, the punter out there.
That had to smart because Andy Russell just got his fingertips on that football to knock it away. That's the 2nd time out of the backfield that we've seen Stabler using a safety valve man, one of his backs, Clarence Davis, trying to force the ball to him, and Davis with great coverage on him.
If they were to go for a field goal here, it would be a 48-yarder, so they elected not to have Bland to try. Instead, Ray Guy will punt. Dave Brown is back in a single safety as Pittsburgh will send 10. Guy tries to angle it to the corner, and it goes out of bounds, and he did angle it to the corner. It's going to be at the 1-yard line. At the 1-yard line. Ray Guy, the best punter in the league. Out of bounds at the 1 with the score, Oakland nothing, Pittsburgh nothing. There's a timeout on the field.
Well, these two teams get together. There's always a real confrontation. probably the most bitter rivals in the National Football League. It all began at Pittsburgh on a warm December night 3 years ago. It was 1972. The Steelers, then the Cinderella team of professional football, ended nearly a 40-year drought by winning their first division title. Long frustrated Pittsburgh fans, enjoying the first playoff in the club's history, decided to celebrate with a Friday night pep rally in the downtown Market Square area. After a steady stream of speakers ranging from athletes to local politicians sparked the crowd, it marched a few blocks to the hotel where the Raiders were staying. The crowd, still orderly, was chanting and singing in an area in front of the hotel when a drinking glass dropped from the hotel, shattered directly in front, sending a number of the celebrators rushing for cover. With the crowd suddenly stampeding, a policeman standing on a nearby ledge was sent sprawling, and several of his colleagues, thinking he was being assaulted, charged in and began forcibly dispersing the crowd. These two teams get together, as always happening.
Harris, 3 attempts, no yards. Rocky Bleier, 2 attempts, 2 yards. That's all as Pittsburgh lines up at their 1.
Terry Bradshaw looks right and left now. Hands it out to Franco Harris, who hits off right guard and wedges it out to about the 3-yard line. Picked up about 2 yards on the play. Call it 2nd and 8 in advance of the 3. Gerald Aaron from Maryland Eastern Shore, the right outside linebacker, came in to make the tackle. Actually, he plays inside with Hendricks outside in the 4 linebacker alignment. The Oakland Raiders forced into that because of the absence of Tony Klein out with an injury. On occasion, they'll send Dave Rowe in and play a 4-3 on that occasion. 2nd and 8 now at the 3-yard line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's Rocky Bleier. Again, he's just trying to get some running room. He gets it out there to the 5-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, alternate 7 men on a regular basis. Ray Mansfield plays the 1st and 3rd periods at center. Then Mike Webster plays the 2nd and 4th. Jim Clark plays the 1st and 3rd quarters at left guard. Then he moves to right guard for the 4th quarter. Jerry Mullins plays the first 3 quarters at right guard. John Cobb, the best blocker on the offensive line, and Gordy Gravel go all the way at the defensive tackle. 3rd down and 6 at the 5, and Terry Bradshaw's in his own end zone, 5 yards deep. Lost a long one, and it is intercepted. Taken at the 29 by Jack Tatum, his 2nd interception of the day. It'll be Oakland 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tatum, of course, figures in a bit of the history of this stadium. He was the man off whom the ball was deflected when Franco Harris made his famed immaculate reception here to send the Pittsburgh Steelers out in front of Oakland in the playoffs a few years ago.
1972, that was a stunning situation, a tremendous play for Franco Harris.
And now it is Oakland 1st and 10 at the Pitt 29. The big hometown crowd is entreating the defense now to hold up. Here's a handoff, and it's taken by Marv Hubbard. Goes over left guard and struggles to the 25, just inside the 25. Dwight White brought him down. Well, it's 2nd down and 6 yards to go now for the Oakland Raiders, threatening here in the 1st quarter.
We talked about Pro Bowl coming up in a few weeks. Well, Cliff Branch, Art Shell, Gene Upshaw, all in the Pro Bowl. All 3 already selected. Ray Guy named to the Pro Bowl also in that offensive unit of the Oakland Raiders.
Wide receiver to the right side. Davis and Hubbard are the running back. Here's Davis off tackle right. And he gets to the 22-yard line. Picked up 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Jack Lambert came in to make the tackle. Lambert on the stop.
This is a great defensive unit the Steelers have. They've had 43 sacks on the season, 27 interceptions, given up only 162 points. They are the only AFC team allowing less than 200 points this year. That figures Lindsey to about 11.5 points a game.
Banaszak and Casper in double tight on the line, but Biani's gone out, and so is Marv Hubbard. About a minute to play on the quarter. Handoff out of Banaszak, and Banaszak is filled at the 21-yard line. He didn't make it. They did not get the 1st down. Clock says we have 40 seconds remaining to be played in the quarter. Mel Blunt came in with Jack Lambert to make the stop. And here comes George Blanda, 48-year-old George Blanda, coming in now to attempt the field goal. This will be about a 38-yard attempt when it's set up. George Blanda, Dave Dalby makes the snap. Blanda was 13 for 21 in the field goal department. 28-yarder is up. No good, wide to the right. It is no good, wide to the right, and we put in play first and 10. 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
10 seconds remaining in the first period. Scoreless, and the first real shot at it comes from the Oakland Raiders with a 38-yard field goal attempt by George Blanda. It was long enough, it was high enough, but it was wide to the right.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers, despite 2 interceptions by Oakland, have not been irreparably damaged. The ball is spotted on the 21-yard line because that was the line of scrimmage. Not at the 20, but the 21 because that was the line of scrimmage. First and 10 now. And here's a pitch out to the right side to Franco Harris. He can't find anywhere to go. He gained a yard. It'll be second out and 9 at the 22-yard line. Art Thomas from Syracuse made the tackle. There's the gun. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Oakland nothing, Pittsburgh nothing.
Let's take a look at college basketball. The Hall of the Pay tournament's still going on, getting back to their own conference games next week. Maryland, North Carolina, and North Carolina State have dominated the Atlantic Coast Conference basketball race for years, but the Wake Forest Deacons are ready to be recognized. Wake Forest, unbeaten but unranked, throttled 8th-ranked North Carolina State last night, 93-78, to win the Big Four tourney in Greensboro. It was the second upset in as many nights for the Deacons, who knocked off 3rd-ranked North Carolina Friday, 95-83. Elsewhere in college basketball, top-ranked Indiana nipped Ohio State 66-64 in its Big Ten opener. Second-ranked Maryland walloped Long Island University 111-88. Fourth-ranked UCLA topped 6th-ranked Notre Dame 86-70. Elsewhere, 5th-ranked Marquette stopped South Carolina 82-70. 7th-ranked Alabama turned back Vanderbilt 83-66. And Nevada, Las Vegas chalked up its 13th straight win by defeating Pan American University 100-95.
Once again,
elsewhere, Wichita State upset 9th-ranked Louisville. That was in overtime, 84-78. There were 2 upsets in the lower 10. Houston upended 17th-ranked San Francisco, 94-73 in the championship game of the Bluebonnet Classic.
Offensively in the first quarter, 3 first downs for the Raiders, 1 for the Steelers. 79 yards total offense for the Raiders, 53 yards for the Steelers.
And now here come the Pittsburgh Steelers, second and out at the 22. Franco Harris had 1,246 yards rushing during the season, second only to O.J. Simpson in the league. Franco's had 1,900-plus yards in his career. Swan in motion back to the inside. Franco gets the ball, and he goes right, skirts up the line, and is stopped just short of the 25 by Monty Johnson. Again, we're about 2 on the play. Call it 3rd and 7 at the 24-yard line now. No score in this ball game. We're in the second quarter, the American Football Conference Championship game.
Harris has not been able to get the running room or the holes that he wants. He's had to hesitate and wait to try and find some daylight.
Lynn Swan goes to the right side now. Frank Lewis to the left. Big Terry Bradshaw, who rushed for 210 yards this year, calling signals. He's up straight back now. Bradshaw looks, swings it out, and is taken by Franco Harris to the left side. 25, 30, and out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Neil Colsey ran him out. Ball is being marked right there now, and I don't think he got the first down. I think he stepped out just before he got to the stick, which had been moved back, of course, to get out of his way. And I think he just missed picking up the first down. Being spotted inside the 31.
To be able to get an opportunity, a target, they put 2 men out there. They roll Rocky Flyer out deep about 12 yards, put Franco Harris out about 5 yards, threw to Harris. He tried to fight his way forward for the first down, and Lindsey, as you said, he's a half-yard shy.
Mike Webster comes in to make the snap in deep punt formation to Bobby Walden, and dropping back is Neil Colsey. Gianni is upfield from him. Walden is waiting at his own 17-yard line on a cold day in Pittsburgh. Gets the snap now, puts it up. Neil Colsey lets it go. It's over to the left side of the field. It's at the 30, bounce to the 25, and it is rolling dead at the 23-yard line. No return, and Oakland will start first and 10 at the 23. The kicking game has been great. Walden kicking for 47 yards and no return.
That's a lot more than his average. He's averaged 39.4 this year, but that was a 47-yard boot. Great kicking there. Incidentally, next Sunday afternoon from Mobile, Alabama, we'll have the Senior Bowl.
With the score, Oakland nothing, Pittsburgh nothing. There's a timeout on the field.
In tennis at Melbourne, Unseeded Mark Edmondson pulled off one of the biggest upsets in tennis history today when he dethroned John Newcomb to win the Australian Open. The 21-year-old Edmondson conquered intense heat and gale force winds and dumping Newcomb over 4 sets, 6-7, 6-3, 7-6, and 6-1. It's the first time an unseeded player has won the Australian Open, and veteran tennis players say it is probably the first time an unseeded player has won any of the world's major titles. Edmondson, who worked as a janitor only 3 months ago, went through the 190-minute match without dropping a service. The title match was played under incredible conditions. The temperatures reached 130 degrees at courtside, and both players nearly collapsed from the intense heat in the 6th game of the second set. Then in the 3rd set, gale force winds, which exceeded 48 miles an hour, swirled around the court. The mercury dropped 20 degrees in 7 minutes, and the referee had to postpone play for nearly a half hour.
On Monday night, January 26th, it's the Pro Bowl game. The greatest stars in pro football at the Dome Stadium in New Orleans. Lindsey and I will be on hand over many of these mutual stations with the Pro Bowl.
1st and 10 now for the Oakland Raiders. The ball at their own 23. Kenny Stabler, the left-hander, drops back. Goes up the right sideline to Siani, incomplete. Covered by J.T. Thomas. 3-year veteran from Florida State. Siani, his rookie year, caught 43 passes. Has not approached that peak of effectiveness since. He is playing today in place of the injured Biletnikoff. And believe you me, Oakland must miss Biletnikoff.
Mike was the number 1 draft choice in 1972, and he turned out to be one of those deep, deep threats. He has great speed. Lindsey can cover a lot of ground. Then he was just fighting for about a 20-yard gainer that he didn't get.
Siani had 17 catches during the year. Biletnikoff had 43 and 2 touchdowns. Hand off to Marv Hubbard, the big man over right guard, pass to the 25-yard line for 2. 3rd down and 8 yards to go. Jack Lambert and Ernie Holmes came in to make the tackle for the black and gold-clad Pittsburgh Steelers. Silver and black, the colors of the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders have won the Western Division Championship in the AFC 8 of the last 9 years. The Oakland Raiders have never won a playoff game on the road.
Can you imagine? And the 5 teams that they have played in the playoffs, all 5 have gone on to win the Super Bowl.
3rd down play coming, 3rd and 8. They know that Stabler will want to put it up now. He's got Siani right, and he's got Cliff Branch left. Stabler dropping back. Takes a long look now. And he is throwing to Branch, and it's incomplete. Branch was really covered. He was covered by Blunt and Glenn Edwards doubling him, and Greenwood was in there. Penalty marker has gone down. Greenwood was in there on Stabler, but the marker's upfield close to the place where Branch was. And we're going to get an interference call, I think. The ball is being placed down on the 48-yard line of Oakland. And it is a call against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Interference is called against the Steelers. On Bryant was Branch, the intended receiver, covering with Edwards and Blunt. An interference call makes it 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Blunt is the man who's guilty now. Remember, he's the one who was burned so much last year by Cliff Branch. Blunt said he was looking forward to the matchup again because he wanted a shot at him again. He's got it.
Blunt led the league in interceptions with 11. He had 1 in the first playoff game last week. Here's Banaszak off tackle right to the 45-yard line. Over into Pittsburgh territory. Jack Lambert brought him down.
Big mean Joe Green was sucking on the play. They had him coming and coming strong. He let that runner go right by him. Sail right through.
2nd down, 3 yards to go at the 45. Joe Green, of course, not 100% by a long shot. He has a pinched nerve in his neck, has a pulled groin muscle. He injured that against Cincinnati in the 7th game of the season. Has missed practically all of the last 5 games. 2nd down and 3 yards to go now for Oakland. And this is Clarence Davis off tackle left. Cuts back and simply tries to submarine up there for a yard or so. Ernie Holmes on top of him. It's going to be spotted outside the 42-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down coming now and short, about a yard to go. 3rd and about 1 for the Oakland Raiders at the Pittsburgh 43-yard line. We're in the 2nd quarter with 12 minutes, 17 seconds left to play in this period. Siani and Branch are going out now, and they've brought Banaszak into the ballgame along with Dave Casper. Double tight on alignment, Davis and Banaszak. They like to give it to Banaszak, 3rd and short. This time to Davis, and he pulls in for the 1st down at the 40-yard line. Chris crossing over to the right side. Ernie Holmes brought him down. 1st and 10. Faked the handoff to Banaszak. Gave it to Davis. It's 1st and 10 for Oakland at the Pitt 40. Here comes Branch and Ciani back. There go Casper. And Warren Bankston was in on that play also.
Great blocking up in that offensive line. Dave Dalby and George Beulah, the center and guard, going after Mean Joe Green and doubling him. John Vella, the right tackle. Bob Moore, they doubled on L.C. Greenwood and gave him just that much moving room to get into and to get through.
There was a penalty on the play, and now penalties marked off against the Pittsburgh Steelers, putting the ball at the 38. It's 1st and 10 at the 38 and offside. 1st and 10 for Oakland at the Pittsburgh 38 on an offside.
Talk about cold, Lindsey. I know we haven't seen it this cold all year long in any stadium we've been in. And there's a powdery snow falling right now.
Jess Phillips is in the backfield now, along with Banaszak. Here's Jess Phillips, the former Michigan Stater. Tries off tackle left. He got at most a yard as Andy Russell came in to make the tackle. It's 2nd down and 9 yards to go. Again, the Pitt defense. It was 3rd in the league overall, while the Oakland defense was 1st overall. Pitt defense trying now to stall Oakland in the chant of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans of defense, defense, defense. A cold day, a snowy day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For the AFC Championship game, the winner goes to the Super Bowl. Ferris Davis is back in, the Southern Cal star. Banaszak's with him. Here's Davis to the left side, and he is pulled down as he got in there inside the 35. Andy Russell coming around to pull him down. He's going to be spotted at the 34-yard line.
You know, Lindsey, it's so cold out there that, of course, the receivers like Cliff Branch and Mike Ciani, they're wearing gloves. The center can't. He's got to field the football. The quarterback can't. The running backs are not going to handle those gloves. But here are both of your wide men, Branch and Ciani, wearing gloves because otherwise their fingers, I believe, would have frostbite.
I want you to know the announcers are wearing gloves. It's 3rd down and 6 at the 34-yard line. Dropping straight back is Stabler. Goes to the left side. A penalty marker down. A diving attempt and an interception on the far side of the 29. Returned to the 45. Mike Wagner. Mike Wagner intercepted. Returned it up the right sideline. Crossed the 45 to about the 47 or 8. Now there was a penalty marker thrown, and apparently it was against Oakland. Joe Green coming off. Motioning it was against Oakland. Joe Green coming off. So it was a Wagner interception. Pittsburgh gets the ball. They will decline the penalty and take it 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Their own 47.
What a great catch by Wagner. He dove at that football. He made the catch just before he hit the ground. Fantastic catch. He got up off of the frozen turf there, ran the ball back out almost to the midfield stripe. It is down at the 48-yard line of the Steelers. Great field position.
No score in the ball game. It was a holding penalty against Oakland, declined by Pittsburgh. So now the Steelers have excellent field position with Rocky Bleier and Franco Harris, the running back, but Terry Bradshaw, who's dropping straight back. He's right-handed. He guns it up the right sideline to Swan. Here's Swan inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh at the Oakland 26. George Atkinson made the stop. It was Bradshaw to Swan.
Pro Bowler Lynn Swan made the grab right down the sidelines. He went. He was behind Alonzo Thomas, the cornerback, in front of George Atkinson. When he caught that football, he just almost ran over Atkinson.
A gain of 27 yards on the play. Lynn Swan, former star at Southern California, goes to the right side. Frank Lewis from Grambling comes to the left side, 1st and 10. Bradshaw now with a quick pitch to Franco Harris. Off tackle left, it's jammed up. He's going nowhere. Franco could not find a hole. The mad stork Ted Hendricks had him in his grasp as he was jitterbugging trying to go somewhere. Forward progress is marked up there just about at the 26-yard line. So make it 2nd and 10 at the 26.
Oakland strong safety George Atkinson stopped that. He went in there and took the lead man, Rocky Bleier, with an Indian block, a crab block, just threw it into him and toppled it and just folded up the offensive push.
There goes Lynn Swan to the right side. Frank Lewis coming to the left side. Evened up Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier, the running back. For the Pittsburgh Steelers and quarterback Terry Bradshaw is driving straight back to throw. He looks to Swan. He throws to Swan. Incomplete at the 12-yard line. He had it just for a moment. Was pumped by Jack Tatum, the former All-American at Ohio State. Swan. And it just for a moment, it's going to be 3rd and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Alonzo Thomas was right there with Tatum, but Tatum jarred him loose from that football. Wouldn't let Swan get a hold of that ball. The minute the ball hit him in the chest, here was Mr. Tatum to blast him. And what a day Tatum has had so far in this first half with 2 interceptions.
Going to be 3rd and 10 now. Charles Phillips comes into that backfield. They expect sure pass here, so Phillips is in defensively in place of Villapiano. That's a deep back for a linebacker. And the defensive alignment dropping back his backyard. That's a draw play to Bryco Harris. Inside the 20 down to the 19. A draw play. Otis Sistrunk made the stop. Bryco Harris with the draw into the 19-yard line for 7. It's going to be 4th and 3. 4th and 3. And here comes Girella. Roy Girella, who had 17 of 21 field goals attempted during the year, is coming in. Coming in to hold. It'll be a 36-yard attempt. Bobby Walden will hold. Webster will make the snap. Walden holding at the 26. A 36-yard field goal attempt in the second quarter. And outstretched now. Walden's waiting for the snap from Webster. Puts it down. It's booted up by Girella. And it's good. It's good. It's good. A field goal is good. And with the score, the Steelers 3 and Oakland nothing. There's a timeout on the field.
Let's check what happened in professional sports last night in the National Basketball Association, the finals. The New York Knicks beat Buffalo 107-106, and the Knicks outlasting the Braves to win that ball game. Earl Monroe scored 20 of his 26 points in the second half, and Spencer Haywood contributed 5 key baskets in the final period to give the victory to the Knicks. It was the 7th win in a row for the Knicks at home, and their 9th in the last 11 games overall. Elsewhere in the NBA, Eric Money scored 4 points in the last minute of play, and George Trapp came up with 22 second-half points as the Detroit Pistons downed the Cleveland Cavaliers 104-100. Meanwhile, the Phoenix Suns outscored the Atlanta Hawks 19-0 in the first 4 minutes of the second half, with center Alvin Adams getting 15 of those points, helping the Suns to a 100-89 victory. The Suns broke a 4-game losing streak, and Elvin Hayes scored a season-high 37 points to lead the Washington Bullets to a 119-104 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers.
From Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the American Football Conference Championship game. 3-0, the Steelers. The Super Bowl defending champions lead, and once more, Lindsey Nelson.
All right, now, Wester Roy Girella is going to kick off to Harold Hart and Clarence Davis. Harold Hart, the kickoff return champion, averaged 30.5. He returned 102 yards against Miami in the season's opener. This one goes to Davis at the 5. That's right to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Davis to the 25, along the sideline, and he's bounced out at the 28-yard line. John Banaszak bounced him out. So now Oakland starts 1st and 10 at the 28. 8 minutes, 12 seconds remaining to be played in the first half before a sellout crowd of more than 50,000. Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh on a cold, cold day. This stadium, of course, located at the confluence of the Allegheny and Monongahela Rivers, where they form the Ohio. Marv Hubbard and Clarence Davis are the running backs for Kenny Stabler. Here is Davis, off tackle to the left side. Gets across to the 31-yard line for 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker, came in to make the tackle. Stabler this year completed 171 of 293, picked up 2,296 yards. His percentage of completions, 58.4, 16 touchdowns, but 24 interceptions for Stabler. Last year, Oakland was able to rush for only 28 yards and 21 carries against the Pittsburgh defense as they met in the championship game won by Pittsburgh. Stabler back to throw, the left-hander. And it's incomplete and almost intercepted. Jack Ham had a hand on it. Jack Ham, the Penn Stater, almost intercepted. 3rd and 7 at the 31.
Intended for Mike Ciani, and Ciani right behind him was helpless. He turned and looked for the football, and there was Ham in front of him, reaching for it too, and there was nothing Ciani could do. But Ham didn't hold on to the ball. He had to go high for it. He had a hand on it, but couldn't pull it in.
Defense is the cry from the fans here at Pittsburgh, a partisan crowd, of course. Oakland a long way from Oakland, California. 3rd and 7. They've got Branch set in the slot right beyond. He's outside him. Here's Stabler back to left-hander look. Throws it now to Davis. It's complete. He was open, hit him in the hand, but he could not hold on. On a day such as this, a cold day, catching a football is not an easy task.
Clarence Davis was the target. He was crossing over out of the backfield. Andy Russell had let him slide by. Then Russell was trying to catch him in a hurry. Couldn't get to him. But there's an example. Lindsey, finally the cold is getting to them. That ball normally would have been caught.
It would have, and now Ray Guy's coming to kick, and can he ever kick? Nobody questions the fact that he is the finest kicker in professional football. Mike Collier has dropped back, along with Dave Brown, to receive the punt. Ray Guy standing along his own 16. He played his college football at the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg. Dalby stays in to make the snap. In deep punt formation, Guy boots it up. And it is over to Brown's side of the field. At the 29, he has it at the 30, 35. Cuts left to the 40. Pulled out at his 40-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10, a 41-yard punt. So now the Steelers get the ball at their own 41-yard line. 7 minutes, 20 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. Steelers 3 and Oakland nothing. There's a timeout with the score. Pittsburgh 3, Oakland nothing. And now this word.
Let's continue with the NBA roundup. There are a lot of games played last night. The Milwaukee Bucks made it a 126-101 victory over the Houston Rockets. Bob Dandridge scored a season-high 34 points, and Jim Price added 24, including 14 in a decisive third quarter to lead the Bucks. Second stringer Nate Williams scored 23 points to give the New Orleans Jazz the spark it needed to down Kansas City 120-95. Pete Maravich added 21 points, and Bud Stallworth hit for 20 to add to New Orleans' scoring punch. Elsewhere, rookie Gus Williams got 27 points as the ignition man for a Golden State rally that erased a 16-point deficit as the Warriors down the Los Angeles Lakers 130-99. Sparked by forward Lloyd Neal, the Portland Trail Blazers scored 11 straight points in the first quarter, went on to post a 125-97 victory over the Boston Celtics. Over in the ABA, there were 3 games. New York whipping Indiana 105-90. Kentucky won over San Antonio, and Denver defeated St. Louis.
Pittsburgh Steelers have the ball. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Terry Bradshaw up there with his running back split. Now it's Rocky Blau and Franco Harris, and back to throw, and it is completed. Taken by his tight end, Randy Grossman. Grossman at the 45-46, falls forward to the 48-yard line of Pittsburgh. A gain of 8 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 2 at the 48. Randy Grossman, the tight end, made the catch. Gerald Aaron came in to make the tackle. Steelers leading by a score of 3-0.
Grossman just bounced right off of Irons after he'd hit him. He laid the shoulder into him. He bounced off, but down he went about a yard further up.
Lewis comes to the left side and Swan to the right. The running back still is split now for Terry Bradshaw. Here's a quick pitch, and it's taken by Franco Harris across the 50 for a first down at the 49-yard line. 1st and 10, Monty Johnson, a 3-year veteran from Nebraska, came to make the tackle.
Lindsey, this time, instead of Oakland's running game being down, it's Pittsburgh's running game being down. Harrison, 8 attempts, had 13 yards before his last carry. Flyer had carried 3 times for 3 yards. Oakland, on the other hand, had Hubbard go 5 times for 16, and Davis run 8 times for 21.
1st and 10 now for the Steelers at the Oakland 49. Lewis left and Swan right. Franco Harris right, Rocky Blau left as the setbacks. They are widely separated. Now Swan in motion back to the inside. Bradshaw retreats, looks, and throws to Randy Grossman, his tight end. He's at the 40, still going, and gets down to the 35-yard line. Another first down for the Steelers. Art Tom finally brought him down. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh, and it's being spotted outside the 35-yard line. 2nd consecutive reception by Randy Grossman, the 2nd-year man from Temple University in Philadelphia.
The Steelers are using something that Stabler has been using successfully the last few games, throwing to the tight end. Stabler likes more. Now here's Bradshaw working to Grossman and Brown.
1st and 10, Bradshaw dropping back to throw. Takes a look, has plenty of time. Now he throws it to Franco Harris, who drops the ball. Franco out in the left flat. just about at the line of scrimmage, was hit immediately by Neil Colsey, the rookie cornerback, who started to hit a Willie Brown. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 35. Bradshaw had all day long that time. We have 5 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the first half. Pittsburgh 3 and Oakland nothing.
55 sacks for this defensive unit of the Oakland Raiders. A great defensive unit. 35 interceptions. They gave up 255 points, though. 18 points a game. We're going to have a break after this next play for our stations to identify themselves, so stand by.
2nd and 10. The ball's outside the 35-yard line of Oakland in Pittsburgh possession. Bradshaw gets the ball now. On a draw play, Franco Harris. And he gets to the 33-yard line for 2. It'll be 3rd down and 8 yards to go. Otis Siston came in to make the tackle.
Let's pause 5 seconds now for station identification. This is Mutual, your network for news and sports.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Al Lester and John Morad here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. The Steelers are leading Oakland by a score of 3-0. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Pittsburgh has the ball at the Oakland 33-yard line. There goes Swan to the right side. Frank Lewis coming to the left side now. Bradshaw looks right, looks left. He's got Franco Harris and Rocky Flower evened up. Starts the chant now. Gets the ball down straight back to take a look. He wants to go to Swan. Guns it up the middle, and it's incomplete. He tried to get Frank Lewis on a crossing pattern as Swan had gone deep. Frank Lewis on a crossing pattern was the man for whom it was intended. Neil Colsey was covering it. 4th down and 8. The ball's at the 33-yard line.
Bradshaw must have very, very cold hands down there because he threw that wide, he threw it low, and Frank Lewis had made the break. He had Colsey beat. Had that ball been there, he'd have had a nice chunk of yardage. He'd have had about 10 yards of good, solid real estate, maybe 15.
The punting unit is in now. Line of scrimmage to 33. Walden will do the punting. Girella, incidentally, outside the 30-yard line was 6 for 10 this year. Inside the 30, Girella was 11 for 11 in field goals. But the punter, Walden, puts it up down toward the end zone. It takes one hop, bounding around down there, hits the end line, touchback. It'll be put in play 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. The Oakland Raiders at their own 20. When the Raiders were able to gain only 29 yards rushing last year in 21 tries, Ken Stabler said they might just as well have passed on every play. That was done once in a college game in 1951. Southern Methodist, coached by Rusty Russell and quarterback by Freddie Benners, passed on every down or kick. There was not a running play for SMU in the entire game against Notre Dame. Here's Davis now, skirting left, trying to go outside. Still alive as he gets up near the 25-yard line. Mike Wagner riding him out. Wagner from Western Illinois, a gain of 5 yards on the play at 2nd down and 5 for the Oakland Raiders. 4 minutes, 2 seconds left in the half.
All-pro left guard Gene Upshaw swung out there in front. Beautiful blocking, leading the way, helping him turn that corner, getting those 5 big yards. When you got a big man like Upshaw, 6'5", 255 out in front of you, he can help you open the door.
Siani comes wide to the right side now. Cliff Branch, world-class sprinters on the left side. It's the big man, Hubbard carrying. He tries to go outside and gets up to the 29-yard line. Mel Blunt came in to make the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and 1 with the ball at the 29. They don't like to run Marv Hubbard outside. He's not nearly as effective out there as he is off tackle. But he skirted out there then. He's 6'1", a 225-pounder, a 7-year veteran from Colgate.
One of the crash helmet boys. He likes to go in there where the company is thick and fast and furious. He's a punishing runner, too, because when he's at full force, he is great on the inside, Lindsey.
They brought Banaszak in again on short yardage, 3rd and 1. And they've got Casper in as a double tight end alignment. Handed off to Banaszak. And with a second effort, he gets the 1st down. He was hit just at 30, but then he bounced on across. And it's going to be spotted down there somewhere outside the 33-yard line.
There they go, running behind on the left side. The strength is over there. Art Shell, Gene Upshaw. You can expect them when they need that short yardage. You can expect them to go to the left because these are 2 great offensive linemen.
Yessiani coming wide to the right side, and Cliff Branch is in the slot right. A lone setback in a double wing, and Stabler is back now, throws a screen, and is gathered in by Banaszak. He's at the 40, and goes out of bounds short of the 45-yard line. J.T. Thomas bounced him out. Going to be taken to the inbound marker and spotted at the 44-yard line.
Banaszak was very lucky to make the catch on that ball, and he made it with only one man in front of him, George Bueller, the right guard. The rest of his offense, or the rest of his blockers, his interference, Dave Dolby and Gene Upshaw, were behind him.
Exactly. He was in the middle of a screen. And the defender there was close, and the ball had to be lobbed over, and he gathered it in on his fingertips. We have 2 minutes, 25 seconds remaining to be played in the first half as we approach the 2-minute warning. First and 10 at the 44. Stabler back to throw. Throws out left, and it's incomplete. Jess Phillips, the man for whom it was intended, but he was well covered. As Blunt over there was getting help from Andy Russell, and it'll be second and 10 at the 44.
There's Kenny Stabler again, short with the pass, not getting the distance. I've got to believe that the quarterbacks having to work without the gloves down there, without the feel, have no feel in their fingers. They really, when you haven't got that and you can't get the feel on that football, it's so easy to not be able to gauge distance properly.
It is a cold day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Second and 10 now. Cliff Branch goes to the left side. Mike Siani comes to the right side. Danaszek and Davis are the running backs for Stabler as we approach the 2-minute warning. Takes the handoff. Now Stabler throws a screen left. Taken by Davis. He's at the 45. Still alive as he goes out of bounds about the 47-yard line. Ernie Holmes ran him out. 2:10 on the clock.
Jack Ham looked like a kamikaze pilot. He came sailing across. One blocker there. He went sailing across him through the air, did a beautiful swan. I would have given him about 8 points on that. Didn't make the tackle, but he certainly had to intimidate the man with the football.
Pittsburgh Steelers trying for back-to-back appearances in the Super Bowl. Only 2 teams have done that. The Green Bay Packers of Vince Lombardi and the Miami Dolphins of Don Shula. Harold Hart comes in for the first time now in place of Davis. Hart's a 2-year man from Texas Southern. He's 6 feet tall, 206-pounder. Pete Danaszek and Harold Hart are the running backs. Wide receivers left and right. 2:10 on the clock in the first half. Stabler back now. Takes a look, throws over the middle to Hart. He's got it at the 40-yard line of Pittsburgh. He's going on down to the 37-yard line. Jack Ham brings him down. It'll be first and 10 now for Oakland. And we are getting the automatic timeout, the 2-minute warning. So with the score, Pittsburgh 3 and Oakland nothing. There's a timeout on the field.
Let's check the hockey results now from last night. In the National Hockey League, New York Islanders fought Chicago to a 1-1 deadlock. Philadelphia blasted Pittsburgh 8-4. Atlanta won over Kansas City 6-4. Montreal shut out Washington 7-0. Detroit won Toronto 0, and St. Louis nosed out Minnesota 3-2. In the National Hockey League today, afternoon exhibition game, the Soviet touring team. They have 2 teams touring. This is the Soviet Wings. They're playing the Buffalo Sabres at Buffalo. That game has just started, and we'll have some scores on it later on. Later tonight in the NHL, Vancouver's at Detroit, New York Islanders in Philadelphia to play the Flyers, Toronto at New York against the Rangers, and Pittsburgh at Chicago. WHA tonight, New England playing at Indianapolis, Phoenix is visiting Cleveland, Ottawa at Minnesota, and Winnipeg at Edmonton.
Lindsey, Monday night, January 26th, it's the Pro Bowl, the greatest stars in pro football. And we'll be broadcasting you and I from the fabulous Superdome in New Orleans. The Pro Bowl lines up the football season on Mutual, another of the great Mutual sports attractions. Before then, however, next Sunday afternoon from Mobile, Alabama, the Senior Bowl football game.
Right now, Marv Cullum has come to this ball game at left outside linebacker in place of Jack Ham for Pittsburgh. When play is resumed, it'll be first and 10 for Oakland. They have the ball near the 37-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 minutes remaining to be played in the first half. The Steelers are leading by a score of 3-0. Oakland arrived here night before last, about 11 p.m. They worked out yesterday here at this stadium. First and 10 for the Oakland Raiders up there in a double wing. The lone setback is Marv Hubbard, and Stabler's dropping back. Going long, and it is Hart, and it is incomplete and almost picked off by Mike Wagner. Hart was at the 6-yard line. Wagner made his move and almost picked it off. Incomplete, second and 10 at the 37.
You think that fellow Harold Hart can't move? No wonder he's the #1 kickoff return man in the American Football Conference. Some kind of speed.
Well, it's back spotted now outside the 36, about the 36.5-yard line. The lights have been on since the start of the ball game here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Home of the Steelers, also home of the baseballing Pittsburgh Pirates. Here comes Siani to the right side, playing today in place of Biletnikoff. Bryant gets to the left side, and Stabler drops back to take a look. Bryant hooks down at the sideline. Can't hang on. Can't hang on. He had it just for a second. He hooked and came back. Blunt was behind him. He had it just for a moment, and it rolled free, incomplete. 3rd and 10 at the 37-yard line.
What a great cornerback that Mel Bunt is. Now there he not only dove on the man trying to shake him loose, but he had both arms inside trying to pry that football loose, and he pumped it right out of the hand of the receiver, Cliff Branch, who knows all the tricks in catching a football.
Pete Banaszak comes in for Marv Hubbard now. 3rd and 10 outside the 36-yard line. 1 minute, 47 seconds left in the half. Pittsburgh 3, Oakland nothing. They're in the slot right. Davis and Banaszak are the setbacks. Stabler's back to throw. Scrambles out to the left side. Throws now, and it is incomplete. Out at the 25 to Davis. Davis slipped a little as he started up the sideline, then could not hang on to it. Andy Russell was covering defensively. It's going to be 4th and 10 at the 37. I'm sure that frozen hands had something to do with that, in addition to the treacherous footing. And here comes Ray Guy in. Ray Guy, the punter, has come in. Line of scrimmage to 36.5.
Lindsey, I don't believe they would have allowed Clarence Davis to make the catch anyway, because he had gone out of bounds. He went over and curled a little bit too deep, went out of bounds. You can't go out and come back in and make it.
There was a time you could. A fellow named Larry Kelly of Yale used to do it, and shortly thereafter they changed the rule. 4th and 10 now. It'll be a punt with Ray Guy standing back near midfield. Glenn Edwards is dropped back. There's a punt on by and hitting in the end zone. It'll be brought out and put in play first. 20-yard line, 36-yard punt for Guy. And so with the clock showing a minute and a half to play in the first half, the Steelers get the ball at their own 20-yard line. They're leading by a score of 3-0.
What a ball game. What a ball game. The kicking has been tremendous here today. Both teams have gone at hammer and tong. We've had a couple of turnovers in the ball game. Stabler has thrown 1 interception and 2 interceptions. Bradshaw has 2 interceptions. Stabler has 1. So here's the ball at the 20-yard line, and we've got a minute and a half, Lindsey.
Franco Harris coming up there along with Rocky Blyar. Setback for the quarterback, Terry Bradshaw, 6'3", 218-pounder. Franco Harris up the middle, pulls his way to the 26-yard line. The gain is 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Otis Sistrunk coming up to make the tackle. In yardage gain, Franco Harris was second only to O.J. Simpson in the American Football Conference this year. 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Dropping back is Bradshaw. Takes a look, wants to throw it. Now he gives it to Franco out in the left flat. 26 up to the 30, and he got across for the first down, I believe. Ted Hendricks. The Mad Stork made the stop, but I think he crossed the 30, in which case it is a first down.
Big Gerald Irons over there came up to help Ted on that, to lock him in.
Pittsburgh has called a timeout. The Steelers have stopped the clock with 59 seconds left now. It is a 1st and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have the ball at the 31-yard line. The pass play to Franco Harris did pick up the first down.
Lindsey, in February, Mutual goes to Innsbruck, Austria for the Winter Olympic Games. All of the excitement of Olympic competition. The Winter Olympics from Innsbruck, right here on Mutual. And then in July, the Summer Olympic Games from Montreal, Canada. It will all be covered over many of these same Mutual stations you're listening to right now. The Olympic Games on Mutual.
I want to tell you, Al, rest of this afternoon, you could have the Winter Olympic Games at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
They'd have to thaw out some parts of the field here for them to do it.
I want to tell you, this is the coldest I've been in several seasons of doing football. It's just one of those days.
Well, I thought it was rather admirable that you came out here about half an hour before game time, and when I asked you what you were doing, you said you were out here practicing in the cold.
I was practicing being cold, and I got it down pat because I'm freezing.
That snow coming down, too. Little white flakes fluttering down here.
I see a little of it. I went over to the Army surplus yesterday afternoon and bought everything they had, and I've got it all on. 1st and 10 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers at their 31-yard line. Steelers have 2 times out remaining, and the Oakland Raiders have 3:59 seconds to the first half, and the Steelers are leading by a score of 3-0. This game is still very far from being settled so far. Bradshaw is back, throws up the middle, and Fawn can't get it. It's intercepted, picked off by Monty Johnson. at the 35-40, his 45-50. Monty Johnson out of bounds at the 45 of Pittsburgh. There's a penalty marker on the run back that could be a clip. It was just briefly into the hands of Lynn Swan. Monty Johnson, the middle linebacker, who had taken a deep drop, got it in the air, returned it. The penalty marker is dropped back at the 47-yard line. Could have been a clip on the run back. Now we're getting the signal. It's a personal foul. Personal foul against Oakland on the run back. It was actually returned to the 45-yard line of Pittsburgh, but the penalty will be marked off from the 47-yard line of Oakland.
I like the way Neil Colsey handled that. Neil Colsey from the Raiders, realizing the penalty was against them, I suppose, went over and picked up the handkerchief and coyly walked over to the official and said, "Did you drop this?" I imagine he must have said that because the official said, "Put it back. Put it back."
It is a personal foul. It puts the ball back at the 32-yard line of the Oakland Raiders since it occurred on the run back. Oakland is first and 10 at their 32-yard line. Kenny Stabler, who played his college ball under Bear Bryant at the University of Alabama, brings him up, hands it off now to Hubbard, and Marv Hubbard hits that left side. That's the hole they like to try to hit. Dwight White is there, along with Andy Russell to make the tackle. Dwight White's the defensive right end. Andy Russell's the right outside linebacker. Ball is up there near the 37-yard line for 5, so it's second down and 5. Clock is running with 25 seconds remaining to be played. Keep in mind, Oakland has all 3 times out remaining. Second down and 5. Siani comes to the right side. Bryant is doubled in a slot right. Running back to Reeland up. And off to Clarence Davis. He tries right tackle this time. It goes nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. It's going to be third and 5 at the 37. That time has run out. That's the gun. That's the end of the first half with a score. Pittsburgh 3, Oakland nothing. Now this...
Checking other stats now, we're talking about defense. Both teams allowing just 131 yards apiece on passing defense. And this has been, as we said, the main weapon of both clubs in this cold, frigid weather. The field has a number of icy spots on it. And as they mentioned, Lindsey Nelson and has mentioned during the broadcast, a number of the players are wearing gloves. Ones who can wear gloves, like the passers, cannot wear gloves, of course, and it's been very difficult handling that ball. And that is perhaps the reason why the passing percentage, when we get the stats from Three River Stadium here in a few moments, will show that the quarterbacks aren't having too much luck. And, of course, it also is affecting the running of Franco Harris of Pittsburgh, Ted Banaszak of Oakland, and some of the other boys have been trying to pick up yardage. And Pittsburgh having very little luck against the forward wall of Oakland.
Here at halftime now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to welcome to our microphones a young man, an outstanding quarterback in the National Football League, in the AFC with the Cincinnati Bengals, Kenny Anderson. A great year, Ken. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Al.
You know, when you have a fellow who completes 228 passes on the season, he's the only man that got 3,000 yards this year, 3,169, at 21 touchdown passes and only 11 interceptions. Hey, I don't know, but you must have something with that football some of the other guys don't have, because you have 60% completion.
Well, we're pretty lucky in our team. Everybody in the team catches the ball very well. We throw to our backs a lot. And, of course, having a guy like Isaac Curtis does wonders for a passing attack.
Of course, last weekend it was the Oakland Raiders that knocked you out of the playoffs. And what a ball game that was. You fellas almost closed the gap there.
Right, we scored a couple times late in the fourth quarter, and we had our chance. We recovered a fumble on their 40-yard line, something like that, with about 4 minutes to go, and couldn't do anything with it. So, you know, you can't ask for anything more than have your chance to win a game. We had ours and just couldn't capitalize.
Quarterback Kenny Anderson, how about this first half? Now, your thoughts on the way Oakland is performing and Pittsburgh?
Well, it's going about like I expected. It's a very cold day out there, and the field's slippery, and you kind of expect two great defensive teams for their defense to control the game, and they really have. I'm surprised both quarterbacks that there's been some interceptions, but they're throwing the ball fairly, very effectively.
Were you a little shocked that Paul Brown is bowing out as the coach?
Very much so. He gave no inclination about it during the season or after the Oakland game, and I was up at my mom and dad's near Chicago and heard the announcement New Year's Day and just couldn't believe it.
Some kind of a coach, isn't he?
He sure is. He's done wonders for the game of football, and I'm just proud to have played under him for 5 years.
Well, Ken, what can I say? I mean, you've been named Man of the Year, and it is just great, indeed, a real pleasure for us in the National Football League and at the Mutual Network to congratulate you and to thank you for joining us at halftime.
Well, thank you very much, Al. It's my pleasure.
Well, that's one of the great passers in football, Anderson of Cincinnati. There's so many good ones, though it's hard to pinpoint one. Halftime at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh with the score, the Steelers 3 and the Raiders nothing. You're listening to Professional Football on the AFRTS Parade of Sports.
News of the hour, on the hour, from American Information Radio. This is George Engel, and at this hour, the strike against National Airlines is over. National says the Flight Attendants Union has voted overwhelmingly to accept the compromise contract agreement they'd turned down in October. National's 1,200 flight attendants have been out for more than 4 months. In New York, Harvey Berman of National Airlines tells ABC News some flights will take off in 2 days.
Service will resume on Tuesday, January 6th. That first day's flights will involve positioning aircraft and crews in California and New York. Flights will increase sharply on the second day, and more than half of the full scheduled flying will operate by the third day. Full scheduled service will be restored within 2 weeks.
Berman says within 30 days, almost all of National's 7,600 workers will be getting paychecks again. The White House denies President Ford will block a congressional report. That story coming up.
This is Tony Roberts speaking for the National Alliance of Businessmen. The Alliance is working hard to find jobs for veterans. We suggest you set your sights on your future now before you leave the service. It's tough getting a civilian job these days, not just for veterans, for everybody. The problem is, it could be tougher the longer you wait. Did you know that 540,000 men and women left the military service last year? Did you know also that more than 500,000 Vietnam-era veterans are now unemployed and seeking work? Consider what you have going for you. Prepare yourself and plan ahead. There are a lot of people who want to help you define and attain your career employment goals. Seek out your education and career counseling office today. Get solid information about how to better your skills and where to get more training if you want it. It's worth it.
The White House says President Ford has made no decision on whether or not to try to squelch a congressional report on U.S. involvement in Angola. CBS News had reported the president was planning to block the report on grounds of national security. Egypt today called for the U.S. and Russia to get out of Angola's civil war. An expert on Angola says it will take a coalition government to settle things there. In Washington, Dr. John Markham of the University of California told reporters,
unless there's an accommodation of the populations that represent the support for each of these three movements in a national government, those who are left out will continue fighting. And that will be whoever tries to rule the country without having a broad support will find that they're going to be confronted with continuing insurgency.
Dr. Markham was on NBC's Meet the Press. Presidential advisor Richard Cheney says President Ford will do very well in the New Hampshire primary, but Cheney will not predict that the president will win. Ronald Reagan will spend most of his time in New Hampshire during a 2-week campaign swing that starts tomorrow. Federal investigators have reportedly found illegalities in the food stamp program. The Washington Star says some of the financial establishments that sell food stamps are not turning in the money, but some are using it interest-free, some others are pocketing federal funds. The auto industry will have some good economic news to reveal tomorrow. That story from ABC correspondent Jerry Stanicky in Detroit.
Because of the holidays, U.S. car makers will not report mid-December new car sales until tomorrow. But when they do, auto industry analysts here in Detroit say the figure will be good. Sales for the Big Four should be up about 35% compared to a year ago when the car industry hit the bottom. One analyst here says it's a continuation of an upswing, a sales cycle that is encouraging for industry executives. On Wednesday, the industry reports total 1975 sales. Jerry Stanicky, ABC News, Detroit.
New York State Police reportedly carried out illegal wiretapping and bugging operations on a regular basis during the Rockefeller administration. The Long Island newspaper Newsday says state police sources claimed department records were falsified to conceal the purchase of eavesdropping equipment. An aide to Vice President Rockefeller says Rockefeller never knew anything about it if it happened. This is Information Radio News. Workshops for the handicapped are being described as a washout by a congressional consulting firm. Its report says only 1 out of 10 handicapped workers finds work after being trained in special workshops, and the situation is not likely to improve while the unemployment rate is high. The study, authorized under the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, recommends that some training for the handicapped be done outside the workshop system by providing jobs in parks, museums, building maintenance, or clerical work. The study says training alone is not the answer, but the handicapped have to be absorbed into the community. I'm George Engel, and that's the news. Hear news of the hour, on the hour, throughout the day from American Information Radio. A service of ABC News. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
We're at halftime at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh with the AFC title game. The Steelers and Gorilla field goal lead Oakland by a score of 3-0. We'll be going back to the crew out at Mutual at Pittsburgh in a few moments, and be joining Lindsey Nelson and Al Wester in just a few moments. Right now, let's talk about the other game coming up later on the West Coast. The Los Angeles Rams may be on the verge of making it to the Super Bowl for the first time today. Merlin Olsen and Jack Youngblood are half the premier defensive line that will try to slow down Roger Staubach and his Dallas Cowboy teammates in that NFC game. Now, against St. Louis last weekend, Youngblood intercepted a Jim Hart pass and ran it back 47 yards for the Rams' second touchdown. He also sacked the Cardinal quarterback for an 11-yard loss, forced the fumble, and deflected an extra point in their 35-23 victory. The chief goal last weekend was to contain Minnesota quarterback Fran Tarkington within the pocket and attempt to prevent the short passes to Chuck Foreman, which could turn into long gains. Dallas accomplished this at the risk of having its cornerbacks playing one-on-one in the deep secondary.
Here in our Mutual booth now, ladies and gentlemen, is the president of the Pittsburgh Steelers, a very handsome young man, Dan Rooney. And like all the Rooneys, he's a man who believes in winning. And Dan, right now you're ahead 3-0.
Well, it's really been great. I would say that it's the most interesting game. It looks like that the field goals are going to play a real big part in it. And Landa missing that one was, I guess, a godsend to us. But I think that it's going to be a very close game, and I think the fourth quarter is probably going to get down to that and what happens. I noticed that the receivers are getting open, and the quarterbacks have enough time, but it's difficult to catch in this cold weather.
You know, Dan, you look at the halftime stat. John Murad just gave those to me a moment ago. The Raiders have 137 yards total. The Steelers have 133. You couldn't have two ball clubs better matched in a championship game.
It's extremely close. As I say, both the offensive lines and the defensive lines are really playing, and we've stopped the runs, but I think that the passing's going to be, open if they can hold on to the ball.
Dan, do you think possibly the Steelers have the advantage weather-wise here when you consider the fact that the Raiders are not accustomed to anything close to the chill factor we have here today?
Neither are we. I'll say this. So far, the field has been at our disadvantage. I think that our guys have slipped more than they have, and I really do think that breaks are going to play a part in it, but as you say, it's the closest two teams I think that you could possibly get.
Well, there have been 4 turnovers in the game, and Pittsburgh has given up 3.
3 and no points. That's really something. So,
it's a salute to a real tribute to a great defensive unit, and boy, you have that.
Yes, and Joe Green playing, for the first time in a long time has really helped to get the team up. He sure has got the crowd up, and, that's always a help.
Dan, please convey our best wishes to your father. He is one of the great men of professional football, a man who believed in professional football from way, way back. And it took a long time for this team to become the world champions of pro football as you did last year.
Well, thank you very much. It's nice to be here, and we're glad to see Mutual all the time.
Dan Rooney, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, down on the football field, the halftime Festivities are still going on, and we might take this opportunity to give our affiliates along the way the chance to identify themselves. So let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, your network for news and sports.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Just a couple of minutes, the clubs will take the field again, and we'll have the second half, the final 30 minutes of football action. It has been a tremendous first half. The Raiders with 9 first downs, the Steelers with 5. The Raiders 70 yards rushing and 67 yards passing for a total of 137. The Steelers with only 27 yards on the ground, 106 yards through the air. Pittsburgh has 133 offensive yards. The Raiders have 137. Oakland completed 6 of 18. Pittsburgh completed 7 of 13. We've had 4 turnovers in the game. Pittsburgh giving up 3 on interceptions. The Raiders giving up 1 by the interception route. In penalties, 15 yards against Oakland, 27 against Pittsburgh. Offensive plays, the Raiders have held the ball longer, 42. Offensive plays, the Steelers, a total of 28. Third down conversions, the Raiders 5 of 11, the Steelers 0 for 5. And over my shoulder at the moment is an old friend, Will Penegay, the Times-Picayune columnist from New Orleans, where the Pro Bowl will be played. And Will, is everything set down there for it?
Looks like it is, Al. I suspect that everything will start picking up probably within the next 2 weeks or so.
Well, you got the Monday night, the 26th, and that Superdome. We had the Sugar Bowl on Mutual there. It was something, so I suppose the Pro Bowl will be just as great.
Yeah, it should be. It's a fabulous facility, and I really don't think everyone has quite realized exactly how much it can be used for things like the Pro Bowl, the Super Bowl, Sugar Bowl, and all event games.
Will, thanks for coming by. I know you're about to freeze out here.
A little bit nippy.
All right. We'll let you slide away here, and we'll tell you that in just a moment we'll have the kickoff for the second half.
Okay, we'll be just a few moments away from that kickoff. In the meantime, in case some of your favorite college basketball teams were in action, and most of the teams were yesterday, let's take a rundown on some of the games. We gave you some of the tournament games a while ago. We may repeat some of those, though. The Big Four Championship down in Greensboro. Wake Forest beat NC State 93-78. In consolation play, North Carolina beat Duke 77-74. In the Bluebonnet Classic, the championship game, Houston 94, San Francisco 73. In consolation play, the Texas Aggies beat Houston Baptist 99-74. In the Golden Empire Classic championship game, it was Fullerton 101, Bakersfield State 69. Consolation game, San Diego 86, Chapman 84. The Lafayette Invitational Championship, Lafayette 74, Army 61. Consolation play, New Hampshire beat Rochester 80-72. Here in Washington, the Presidential Classic, the championship game, George Washington defeated Penn State 78-69. In the consolation game, it was Harvard 73, Brown 66.
Lindsey, the Steelers are back, the Raiders are back, and we're set to go in the second half.
We are, in fact, both teams coming back onto the field now, loosening up on a cold day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the defending world champions, leading by a score of 3-0. Oakland had some scoring opportunities in the first half, were not able to cash them in, while Roy Gerella did get a field goal on the board for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, coming into the ball game throughout the season, people have talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, the great defense. But keep in mind that the Oakland defense was the #1 overall defense in the American Football Conference, while the Steelers were third. The Steelers were able to pick up only 27 yards rushing against the Oakland defense in the first half. Steelers, however, got 106 yards passing. Raiders picked up total yardage 137-133. Now it's going to be Pittsburgh kicking off. They'll kick off right to left as we look at the field. Gerella will kick off from the 35. Harold Hart, who led the league in kickoff returns, is dropping back, and with him Clarence Davis. So as But we start the second half at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers 3 and the Oakland Raiders nothing. Roy Girella was the AFC scoring champion the last 2 years. Lost the title this year to Buffalo's O.J. Simpson, who scored 138 points. Girella now sees the ball blown off the tee. Retrieves it to put it on the tee again. The wind blew it off. It's a cold, chill day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Noontime temperature in Pittsburgh was 16, but the wind chill factor brought it down to about minus 13. Girella waits for Ben Dryce whistle. Dryce the referee. There it is. Here's Girella putting it up. It's over to Davis, side of the field. Davis at the 11, to the 15, to the 20, 25. And he is cut down at the 28-yard line by Ed Bradley. Ed Bradley downfield, and he cut Davis down at the 28. It is 1st and 10 now for the Oakland Raiders. They held the ball at their own 28-yard line, and Kenny Stabler is the quarterback. Stabler, a 6-year veteran from Alabama, the man they call the Snake. He was an All-American quarterback for Bear Bryant at Alabama. Clarence Davis and Marv Hubbard are the running backs. Cliff Bryce going to the left side, and Mike Ciani coming to the right side. The left-hander, Stabler, takes a look. Hands it off now to Hubbard. Off tackle right. Hiles into the 31-yard line. Stopped by Jack Ham, the left outside linebacker. Gain of 3. Got to be second out. 7 yards to go now for the Oakland Raiders, who have won the championship of the AFC West 8 of the last 9 years.
The Raiders have moved the football on the ground better than the Steelers in that first half, 70 yards to 27. Right now, they'd like to keep that ball on the ground. They'd like to move it right down and keep ball control and get themselves within scoring distance.
Davis and Hubbard, the running backs, are dropping back to Stabler to throw. Throws it out to the left side. It's complete out there. Taken to the tight end, Bob Moore. Penalty marker is down on the play. There is a penalty marker, and I think it's against Oakland.
Mel Blount had moved over there to cover the big tight end, Moore, and after he made that catch sliding out there on the far sideline, it was obvious when that flag went flying it was going to be against the black and silver team from the West Coast, and it is. They'll step off yardage, Lindsey.
5 yards, illegal motion. Take the ball back to the 26-yard line. It'll be second down then, and 12 yards to go. Second and 12 at the 26 for the Oakland Raiders. Illegal motion, says Ben Bryce. We're in the third quarter at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. It was on John Vella. John Vella was the man who moved. The offensive right tackle. John Madden, the coach of the Oakland Raiders, and Chuck Noll, the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're in a double wing, and only Banaszak is a setback now. Banaszak's got it up the middle, and he struggles just short of the 30-yard line. Ernie Holmes hanging on. Get him about 4, make it third down and 8 yards to go. Ernie Holmes, Fats Holmes they call him, but never when he can hear it. 6 feet 3 inches tall, 260-pounder, 4-year veteran from Texas Southern. Pittsburgh Steelers during the regular season, 1-12 and lost 2. The Oakland Raiders, 1-11 and lost 3. Oakland back in the huddle once again now. Steelers have deployed their defense. A big 3rd and 8 play coming. Cliff Franks to the left side. Mike Ciani to the right side. Fred Biletnikoff has not played today. Stabler's back. He's putting it up toward the sideline. Intercepted at the 49-yard line of Oakland and returned by Mike Wagner to the 34. Mike Wagner intercepted at the Oakland 49. His second reception of the day. 1st and 10 for the Steelers, but it's just inside the 35-yard line of the Oakland Raiders.
Stabler overthrew, way overthrew. That was picked off beautifully by Wagner. Mike had 4 interceptions on the season. Ran them back for 122 yards, and Pittsburgh has it at their 35.
John Stallworth is wide to the left side. Stallworth is in there. Here's a handoff to Franco Harris. Up the middle he goes to the 33-yard line. Picks up about 2 on the play. It's second down and 8 yards to go. Monty Johnson, Otis Sistrunk in to make the tackle for the Oakland Raiders. Pittsburgh Steelers with an early interception here in the third quarter Mike Wagner picking off the pass intended for Cliff Bright. But as Al Wester pointed out, it was greatly overthrown. Stallworth coming to the left side now. They move Lynn Swan to the right. Running back to the I formation. Giving it off to Rocky Flyer. Rocky Flyer moves it to the 27-yard line. Picked up 6 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Rocky Flyer, the former Notre Damer, former Vietnam veteran. Monty Johnson came to make the tackle. This crowd is alive now. Here comes Larry Brown in there at tight end. They're going to run a double tight end alignment on 3rd and 2. Grossman and Brown are both in there. They split the running back. Wire and Franco Harris. Franco gets it, piles in, and he stopped at the 26-yard line. There's a penalty marker. He got only a yard, not enough for the first down. But there is a penalty marker to be checked out here now. Gerald Irons and Monty Johnson made the stop. Ben Dryth of Denver, Colorado is the referee here this afternoon, holding against the Steelers. Holding against the Steelers. That'll cost them. The option is being exercised by Monty Johnson, the middle linebacker and 3-year veteran from the University of Nebraska. 12 minutes, 11 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Holding penalty. Decline. It's declined, which will make it 4th and a yard and a half at the 27.
The Oakland Raiders have no intention of worrying about the second field goal. If they get 6 points behind, that's one thing. And that's what's going to come now, field goal try. They can get the touchdown. They believe they can score still. And I've got to believe that that confidence has been deeply instilled in this ball club that they can score on Pittsburgh.
Walden is holding. It's a 44-yard attempt. A 44-yarder, and Girella boots it up, and it is no good, wide to the left. No good, wide to the left. It'll be spotted now at the 27-yard line. Ball goes over at the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 for the Oakland Raiders at their own 27 as Girella missed attempted field goal with the score. Pittsburgh 3, Oakland nothing. There's a timeout on the field.
Jack Patera, a Minnesota Viking defensive coach for 7 years with experience on the Los Angeles Rams and New York Giants staffs, was named Saturday head coach of the expansion Seattle Seahawks. Jack has had a hand in developing 2 of the finest defensive lines in pro football history, says John Thompson. He's the general manager of the Seahawks, and he added he was responsible for the fearsome foursome at Los Angeles and has developed the fine front four in Minnesota as well. Bud Grant, head coach of the Vikings, saluted Patera as a great organizer, well-respected and well-liked. Patera is a native of Oregon and played football in Oregon under Len Casanova from 1951 to 1954. He was drafted by Baltimore in 1955, playing with the Colts 3 years, the Chicago Cardinals for 3 years, and the Dallas Cowboys for 2 years before retiring in 1961. Patera returned to football in 1963, accepting the defensive line coaching staff with the Rams.
Certainly one of the stats being kept in recent years in football, 3rd down conversion. The vital 3rd down play, whether or not it's converted to a 1st down. Pittsburgh 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. Oakland 5 for 12 so far today. 1st and 10 now, Oakland at their own 27-yard line. Handed off to Davis. He tries off back on the right, and he is stacked up as he got to the line of scrimmage. Lance Davis, no gain. 2nd and 10 at the 27. Mike Wagner in to make the tackle. The Oakland Raiders in their white jerseys, silver pants, silver helmet, black numerals. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, with gold pants, black stripe down either side, black jerseys, black and gold, the colors for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're in a slot left now, and Stabler is dropping back, wants to put it up. A penalty mark is down, 2 penalty markers down, and the ball is deflected by J.T. Thomas, incomplete, intended for Clarence Davis. J.T. Thomas got to it. Now there's a penalty marker to be checked out. A couple of them, as a matter of fact. So the officials go into conclave.
J.T. Thomas knocked that one down looking over his shoulder as he was trying desperately to keep up with Clarence Davis, who had beaten him. He was back there at the Pittsburgh 40-yard line, and that was about a 35-yard shot with a good lead given by Stabler to Davis. At the last moment, Thomas put his hands up and knocked the ball away.
Offsides against the Pittsburgh Steelers cost them 5 yards. Ball moved out to the 32, where it's 2nd down and 5 for Oakland at the 32. L.C. Greenwood was the man who had jumped offside. Greenwood, the defensive left end, 6'6", 245-pounder. 7-year veteran from Arkansas A&M. Mean Joe Green is still in there. 7-year veteran from North Texas State, 6'4", 275. 2nd down and 5 yards to go. Bradshaw's in there now as a wide receiver. Here's a pass that is complete, taken by the tight end Bob Moore, and he falls out of bounds across the 40. Ed Bradley was right there. Jack Lambert.
That's enough yardage, Lindsey, for the first down. That's where they've signaled down there. And I don't know, but I think we've got an injured ball player down on the field. Let's take a good look at that.
Could be Bob Moore.
That's who it is, the man who made the catch. He's still down on the field there, Bob Moore. And the officials have blown it dead. It's their call because of the injured player.
When play is resumed, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Oakland Raiders just across their own 40-yard line. Bob Moore, 5-year veteran from Stanford. And he's being helped across the field. Dave Casper has come in to replace him. Dave Casper, the former All-American and man of many positions at the University of Notre Dame. Moore apparently has a leg injury. He's holding the left leg, and he's hobbling along, just trying to skip across with assistants holding him up on either side. He had 19 receptions during the regular season. He had 6 last week against Cincinnati at Oakland last Sunday.
You know, Lindsey, I was talking to Kenny Anderson at halftime, the great quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, and I said to him, come up with us to the Pro Bowl. He said, I can't. I'm going to be quarterbacking. I forgot.
That's a good reason. 1st and 10 at the 40 now. They're in a slot right, and now Stabler drops back for a moment until the ball is marked ready for play. Now it is. Hanazak gets the handoff, goes to the left side. That's a 5-hole, and it's going back again. Thrown back again at the 41 by Dwight White. Gain of a yard on the play. It's 2nd and 9.
Lindsey, I was just looking at the big man, Mean Joe Green, who for 5 straight ball games was out with that pinched nerve in his neck. He's out there playing his heart out right now. I just watched Dave Dalby and George Beulah, the right guard in the center of this Oakland ball club, double on him and take him out of the plate. But it looked to me as though Green still is not able to get in that stance and get out as quick as he used to.
They're in a double wing set now, the Oakland Raiders. Banaszak is the lone setback. A Stabler, the left-hander, drops back to throw. Over the middle and incomplete, almost intercepted by Lambert. Jack Lambert almost intercepted, intended for Clarence Davis. He had it for just a second, and he would have had clear sailing coming left and headed for the goal line. 3rd and 9 at the 41.
Lambert had his hands on it. He had the kind that hits right at the letter. That was a letter pass that he would have intercepted there had he held on to it. But there are a lot of chilled, brittle fingers down there, not only the receivers, but certainly those linebackers who are not pass receivers, who are pass defenders, Lambert and Ham and Russell.
3rd and 9 now for Oakland. They have the ball at their own 41. The crowd are rising to the occasion of the big 3rd down play. David drop. Shuts up now. Wants to throw it. He's being sacked. He's sacked at the 32 by Ernie Holmes. Ernie Holmes has sacked Stabler at the 32, and the punting unit comes on for Oakland.
That's the first time today that we've really seen a tremendous rush put on and one man have a clean shot at the quarterback. Ernie Holmes just hit Kenny Stabler right around the top of the shoes and dropped him down. Not the hard, crushing tackle, but the kind that just took his feet out from under him.
On 4th and 18, Ray Guy is dropping back. Best punter in the league, and it's Dave Brown along with Mike Collier to receive the punt for Pittsburgh, standing along there 25. Dave Dalby makes the snap in deep punt formation. Taken by Guy. He gets it off. Hangs it up there. Fair catch signal goes up. Collier at the 31. He hits the deck right at the 30. So it'll be first and 10, a 38-yard punt. Ball is spotted just across the 30-yard line. Now the Pittsburgh crowd comes to life as the Steelers have the football and they're leading by a score of 3-0. 9 minutes, 22 seconds left to play in the third quarter, and we're getting a timeout signal. So there's a timeout with a score Pittsburgh 3, Oakland 0.
In the East-West Shrine game at Stanford, California on Saturday, Herb Lusk of Long Beach State, a last-minute pick after Tony Gilbreth of Missouri pulled out, scored twice on 2-yard runs. Larry Gaines of Wyoming bolted 5 yards for a third score and helping the West squad snap a 3-game losing streak with a 21-14 victory over the East in the 51st Shrine East-West Classic. A record crowd of more than 75,000 at Stanford Stadium in Stanford, California also saw local hero Chuck Muncie of California run for more than 100 yards, and Craig Penrose of San Diego State put on a brilliant passing performance as the West won for the 25th time in a long series. A fumble recovery by Gib Church of Stanford put the West in business at the East 33 to start the third quarter, and 5 plays later, Lusk went over from the 2-yard line to give the West a 14-0 lead. And from there, it was all West. The previous attendance was 73,1969.
Terry Bradshaw gets the snap, completes the pass to Franco Harris out in the right side. He's at the 40, 45, 50. Franco Harris in Oakland territory at the 48-yard line. Gerald Irons brought him down. A short pass from Terry Bradshaw to Franco Harris, and Harris ran the broken field. It was good overall for 21 yards. First and 10 for the Steelers. They held the ball in Oakland territory. First and 10 at the 48. Pittsburgh Steelers are leading by a score of 3-0, trying to drive their way into the Super Bowl game against the winner of the National Conference Championship game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. First and 10 now. Here's a pitch out. Franco Harris cutting back off tackle right, driving down to the 40-yard line. Picks up 8 yards on the play. Monty Johnson made the stop. It's second down and 2 for the driving Pittsburgh Steelers.
Blocking by the defensive right, or the offensive right tackle Gordon Gravel, and by Rocky Blyer. Both of them are out there in front, picking up that linebacker and picking up that cornerback and driving them out, giving him running room. Pittsburgh Steelers with a regular season record of 12 wins and 2 losses. The only AFC team to win 12. Oakland was 11-3. Cincinnati was also 11-3, but was defeated by Oakland last Sunday. Rocky Blyer off tackle right, no gain. He is stacked up by Otis Sistrunk right at the 40-yard line. So make it third down and 2 now. The Oakland defense moving in. The best overall defense in the American Football Conference to stop the drive of Rocky Blyer. Oakland has figured into retirement of 2 of the greatest coaches of all time. In 1968, Vince Lombardi beat Oakland in Super Bowl II and retired as coach of the Green Bay Packers. Last week, Paul Brown lost to Oakland 31-28 and retired as coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Third down and 2 yards to go now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Stopping straight back. Terry Bradshaw, he slipped. Guns it and it's complete. Taken by tight end Randy Grossman. Grossman is down at about the 40 or the 38-yard line, perhaps the 37. George Atkinson made the stop. Taken at the inbound marker and spotted at the 36-yard line. First and 10 for Pittsburgh at the Oakland 36. And the Pittsburgh fans, a total sellout for this AFC Championship game, going absolutely wild. Every first down from here on, you will hear from the fans of Pittsburgh.
The commissioner of the National Football League, Pete Rozelle, is in the stands here this afternoon. First and 10 for 36. Bradshaw gets the ball. Short drop. Look. Guy's going to run it to the right side. First time he's run today. And he is tripped up as he got to the 30 by Monty Johnson. Monty Johnson in pursuit. But a gain of 6 yards on the play. It'll be second and 4. Terry Bradshaw running the ball.
Lindsey, I've got to believe that's the first time that he's run this afternoon and carried the football. It is on our chart. The first time he's run with a football, and that could be a little dangerous. They didn't want him to run at all. He still has that badly bruised knee from the Baltimore game last week. If he falls on that knee again hard or is hit too hard, it could mean a quarterback on the sideline.
Franco Harris and Rocky Barr are the split running backs. They're in a slot left. Handing it off to Franco. He tries to cross-buck to the left side, but he's thrown for a loss. Back at the 31, Monty Johnson. It's going to be 3rd and 5 now. 3rd and 5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers in Oakland territory at the 31-yard line. 5 minutes, 45 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Pittsburgh 3, Oakland nothing. A Roy Girella 36-yard field goal in the first half. The only points we have on the scoreboard at Three Rivers Stadium this afternoon. Steelers are back in their huddle. Here they come out of the huddle and up to the line. Lynn Swan goes to the right side. Stallworth is coming to the left side. Dwyer and Franco Harris, the split running back for Terry Bradshaw. Bradshaw drops straight back, takes a deep drop, sets up, guns it to the right side to Franco Harris. Short, incomplete. It was short to Franco Harris down the right sideline. 4th and 5 at the 31.
I want to tell you, he had his man beat over there. Harris was by his lonesome if that ball had got to him, but it was a good 3-yard short, went into the turf, bounced away. Now, we're playing on synthetic turf here, and as you pointed out earlier, Lindsey, this was frozen today when we started.
Now the field goal unit has come in. Girella comes in. Walden comes in to hold for him. This is going to be a 48-yard attempt. Walden holding for Girella, a 48-yarder. Outside the 30, Girella was 6 for 10. He had a 36-yarder earlier. And it's blocked. It is blocked at midfield. And the Raiders are scrambling for it. So is Pittsburgh. Picked up over there on the far side by Jack Ham, I think. However, it was forced down. The ball goes over to Oakland. 1st and 10. 1st and 10. And it's going to be at the 43-yard line. The Oakland Raiders get the ball at their own 43. Jack Ham was on the ball. 4th down, it goes over. So with the score, Pittsburgh 3, Oakland nothing. There's a timeout on the field now. This
4 area businessmen plan to file a suit against the National Football League Monday, charging that poor officiating at Minnesota Viking games has deprived them of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They contend poor officiating has violated consumer fraud laws and the constitutional rights of television viewers. Harry C. Grounds, St. Paul businessman who heads the group, said at a news conference over the weekend, the four have formed what they call WAPO, War Against Poor Officiating. He said they have contributed $2,000 to press the suit in U.S. District Court in Minneapolis, claiming NFL officials are too old and arrogant. Grounds denied the suit is a tongue-in-cheek action. He says we're very serious about this. The suit, he said, points in particular to officiating of the Minnesota Vikings-Dallas Cowboy playoff game December 28th, which Dallas won 17-14 the final minute. It also singles out official Jerry Bergman.
1st and 10, Oakland at their own 43. Hand off now to Marv Hubbard. Tries the left side, tries to slide down the line, and is stopped at the 44-yard line after a gain of a yard. J.T. Thomas on the tackle, along with Andy Russell. It'll be second out at 9 yards to go. Oakland with the ball just in advance of their own 44-yard line. Getting the ball on a blocked field goal attempt. As Girella attempted a field goal, it was blocked. Pittsburgh's leading by a score of 3-0. Gianni comes to the right side. Cliff Branch goes left. Running back to evened up for the Marv Hubbard and Clarence Davis. Dropping back is Kenny Stabler, the left-hander. He's sacked. He's sacked. And it's Andy Russell. Andy Russell sacked him at the 36-yard line. Second sack. The second sack. Stabler down as Andy Russell from his right outside linebacker spot fired in and pulled him down for a loss of 8. It's 3rd and 17.
Well, check that second sack up on quarterback Kenny Stabler. Ernie Holmes sacked him the first time in the last series. Now Andy Russell on the linebacker blitz came sailing through there, sacked him for number 2. Pete Van Zak, the lone set back in the double wing. He gets it on a draw. Pete Van Zak across the 40-45, and he stopped at the 46-yard line. Picked up 10 on the play. Mike Wagner in to make the stop. It is 4th and 7 now. That sack was a big play. 4th and 7, and the hand is for the Pittsburgh defense. As the punting unit comes on now for Oakland, they're unable to move against the Pittsburgh defense.
and Ray Guy comes in to do the punting. For Pittsburgh now, Dave Brown is dropping back with Mike Collier. Brown and Collier. Collier left and Brown right, standing at the 12-yard line. 3 minutes, 37 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Pittsburgh 3 and Oakland nothing. Guy standing on his own 30-yard line. Waiting to flex those fingers and get the snap. Low, but he picks it up and gets it off. Over to Collier's side of the field. Mike Collier, the rookie, drops the ball at the 18. And the scramble is on, and at the 15-yard line, Oakland has recovered. Oakland has recovered, and on the ball is Jess Phillips. Jess Phillips is on the football. Former Michigan Stater downfield to gather in the fumble of Mike Collier. A big, big break in the ball game, trailing by 3 points. Oakland has the ball first and 10 at the Pittsburgh 16-yard line.
Mike Collier tried to make a hand catch on that. He didn't try to wrap it up on his chest. He reached out for the football, and it may be because of the swirling wind here in the stadium this afternoon. That ball got away from him.
Biani to the right side, Branch to the left side, double wing. Banaszak's the lone setback. Stabler, the left-hander, dropping back to throw. Guns it to Branch. And he is hit as he finger-tipped it incomplete. He was hit hard by Glenn Edwards. Glenn Edwards popped him. He was trying to finger-tip it. And it's a crisp day, and he could not control it. Second and 10 at the 16-yard line.
What a ball game, what a ball game. Monday night, January 26th, fans. Another great ball game on Mutual, the Pro Bowl game. And next Sunday afternoon, from Mobile, Alabama, the Senior Bowl football game. The North squad against the South.
Dave Casper's in there, tight end now. Dropping straight back is Stabler. Takes a look, throws out in the left flat to Banaszak. He's at the 50, drops the ball. He drops the ball. And Pittsburgh has recovered. Pittsburgh Steelers are advancing the ball. Jack Lambert gets it up near the 28-yard line. That ball was simply dropped by Banaszak on a cold day, apparently. He could not feel it at all and simply dropped the ball as he was trying to run.
Unbelievable, Lindsey. He had the football, he made the catch, and he dropped it.
Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker, gathered it in, advanced it to the 27, and toward his first and 10 at the 27-yard line. 2 minutes, 55 seconds left in the third quarter. The Steelers back in possession. Come up in an I formation. Flyers the tailback, Franco Harris the fullback. Rocky Blyer hits him for no gain. Smothered at the line of scrimmage, second and 10. Otis Sistrunk led the defensive charge. Second and 10 now for the Steelers. They have the ball at their 27. It is bitter cold here this afternoon, and it is almost impossible to hold the ball or to catch the ball now. And in that particular case, Banaszak simply could not hang on to it. Trying to run it, he had both hands on the ball, and he simply dropped it. Second down and 10 at the 27-yard line. Dropping straight back now is Terry Bradshaw. Wants to put it up, takes a look. Now throws it up the middle, and it's complete to Swan. Lynn Swan is at the 48-yard line, fumbles the ball, and now Oakland has recovered. Jack Tatum's on it at the 50-yard line. Jack Tatum has it. Jack Tatum has had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. A couple of fists fly there now as they get them separated. Catch was made by Swan. As he was hit, he fumbled. Tatum has recovered. We pause for station identification. This is Mutual, your network for news and sports.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
The ball has gone over again, and once more Oakland has the football. Don Smith of the Football Hall of Fame is right behind me. Just a quick hello, Don. Nice to have you here.
Well, Al, it's always nice to be here, and we have quite a game going on a very cold day.
I'll tell you, and what a battle between these two football teams. You know, it's still up for grabs here in the third quarter with 2:12 left, 3-0 the Steelers lead.
It looks like the Raiders were probably tied there just a minute ago. Of course, there was a fumble, but right now the Raiders have the ball back. It's anyone's game, and it just goes to show you that when two great teams get together, like the Raiders and the Steelers, no matter what kind of a day it is and what kind of a field, it's a great game.
Don, thanks for dropping by and saying hello, and, well, we'll be down to Canton, Ohio, to the Football Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame soon.
Bye now.
First and 10 for the Oakland Raiders at the 50-yard line. Lynn Swan was carried off the field. Swan was injured on the play. Here's Stabler throwing, and it is complete to Ciani on the far side. Then Edwards gave a leap high into the air to try to deflect it, could not, and Ciani made the catch. It is near the 35-yard line of Pittsburgh. Jack Lambert made the stop. That'll be a 1st and 10 now. 1st and 10 for Oakland at the Pittsburgh 35-yard line.
Beautiful pass, beautifully placed. Stabler throwing right in between. He cut the seam between Glenn Edwards and Mel Blount. Now that is the kind of passing that only a super passer can do. And this left-hander, Kenny Stabler, fits that description.
1st and 10 for the Oakland Raiders at the Pittsburgh 35. Pittsburgh leading by a score of 3-0 very late in the third quarter. Ciani and Bryce are double to the left side. Herbert and Davis to the running back. Davis now piles into the 30-yard line. Picks up 5 before Fats Holmes brought him down. It's going to be 2nd down and 5 to go with the ball at the Pittsburgh 30 in Oakland possession.
Center Dave Dalby had the job of being able of being required to make a one-on-one block on Ernie Holmes. You don't do that. You just don't do it. Dalby did hold him up for a moment. Then Holmes, using his tremendous arms and the strength he had, threw him aside and made the stop.
Right to the left side. Ciani right. Davis left and Hubbard right as setbacks. And taken by Davis trying to sweep right. Looking for a place to cut back. But he was caught by J.T. Thomas. Fumble. Pittsburgh has recovered. Pittsburgh has recovered the fumble. J.T. Thomas really popped it. He really popped Davis, who tossed up the ball, and Jack Lambert recovered. Jack Lambert recovered the football as J.T. Thomas came from his corner when he thought it was a sweep. He came in and popped Davis and shook him loose from the football. 1st and 10 for the Steelers on the 30-yard line, and make no mistake of the fact that the weather is a very big factor in this football game today.
What a great stop by J.T. Thomas. What a tremendous tackle he made, crashing in there. Lambert picked up the loose football.
1st and 10 at the 30 for the Steelers. They lead 3-0. Franco Harris trying to carry, picks up about 1 to the 31. Otis Fitzstrunk coming in to make the tackle. It's going to be 2nd down and 9 yards to go. 1 minute, 14 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A 36-yard field goal by Roy Javella in the first half. The only scoring we've had in the ball game today. The Steelers are leading. They are the defending world champions. The winner of this game goes into Super Bowl 10. John Stallworth comes to the left side now. Stallworth playing a wide receiver spot. Running backs are split. Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer. Terry Bradshaw drops back to take a look. Wants to put it up. Wants to go to Stallworth. He makes a diving catch. Stallworth at the 42-yard line. Finley Marcus has thrown. Could be a late hit. Finley Marcus has thrown, and we could have a late hit. The ball is spotted at the 41. Stallworth had gone down at the 41. He tried to lunge forward. And a penalty mark is thrown now, and we'll read this one. It is a personal foul against Oakland. A personal foul which will move the ball upfield from the Pittsburgh 41. Personal foul against the Oakland Raiders, a late hit. That moves the ball all the way to the 44-yard line of Oakland. 1st and 10 for the Steelers at the Oakland 44.
Lindsey, I know that Filipiano is arguing with the officials, and, you know, you got to believe he had some justification. That was Stallworth doing a turn back. He grabbed the football. No one had pinned him. He was still on the ground, and it is true Filipiano hit him late. But at the same time, he had to pin him.
You're exactly right. That's just the way it happened. Running back to an I formation, Franco Harris now cuts back off the tackle hole right and gets to the 42. Bill Filipiano, 5-year veteran from Bowling Green, made the tackle. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 at the 42-yard line. Steelers are leading 3-0 in their inside Oakland territory, but keep in mind, the ball might be coughed up on any play here this afternoon. Lynn Swan is being carted off on a rolling stretcher. Lynn Swan is being carted off on a rolling stretcher. The former Southern Cal All-American is through for the day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if they should get to the Super Bowl, well, we don't know the full extent of his injury. There's the gun sounding the end of the period before they can make the snap. That's the end of the third quarter with the score Pittsburgh 3, Oakland nothing.
Let's talk a little bit more about that NFC game, which will begin in about an hour from now. That game in Los Angeles. Harold Jackson burned the Cowboys by catching 4 touchdown passes back in 1973. The Rams won that time 37-31. But he didn't burn the Cowboys the teams met this season. The Rams lost 18-7. You'll get that another crack at Dallas today when the Rams meet the Cowboys in that NFC title game. Says Jackson, this Dallas team is particularly hard to break into the open on. The Cowboys have multiple defenses, all kinds of zones and coverages. He says he has a high respect for any team that Tom Landry coaches. The Cowboys always have good depth in their defensive backfield, so they never seem to be bothered by injuries there like other clubs. Jackson caught a 66-yard touchdown pass from Ron Jaworski as Los Angeles beat the St. Louis Cardinals 35-23 in the first round of the NFL playoffs last weekend.
Well, Lindsey Nelson, I'm going to have to get on the phone right after this ball game and talk to Mr. Ray Schustler down in Mobile, Alabama, where we'll be next Sunday afternoon, and I want to get his assurance that we ain't going to have no cold weather like this, partner, because it is cold.
Well, we're not likely to have it in Mobile, and I want you to know that I'm going to arrive there on Thursday because one of the traditions of the Senior Bowl is a seafood dinner on Thursday night, and it is something else. I want to tell you, they pull in the seafood out of that Gulf, and I come early and stay late.
Well, I'm going to be right there helping you. 3 quarters and the statistics. The Raiders 9 first downs, the Steelers 9. The Raiders 178 yards total offense, the Steelers 212 yards. Believe it or not, there have been 9 turnovers in this game. The Steelers losing 5, the Raiders losing 4. It is a cold, cold, cold afternoon at Three Rivers Stadium.
2nd and 8 at the 42-yard line of Oakland in Pittsburgh possession. Bradshaw is 11 for 18, 160 yards passing. Bradshaw's dropping back now. Puts it up again to Franco Harris at the 40. Franco to the 35, to the 30. Franco Harris drives now to the 26-yard line and maybe the 25. All right, Thompson to make the tackle. First and 10. Alonzo Thomas, Skip Thomas coming in. Mr. Death, they call him. He came up to make the stop.
That pass was under the zone. It was to under the linebackers to Monty Johnson, who was 3 yards away from Franco Harris. It is so cold on that field now with the snow coming down that he did not react quick enough. Harris got the football and got 15 yards extra on the play.
First and 10 just outside the 25. We reiterate that it is snowing here now again at Three Rivers Stadium. Franco Harris gets the ball. He's skirting left, going wide, trying to cut. Bounces off to 20, to 15, to 10, to 5. Touchdown! Touchdown to Franco Harris! Touchdown for Franco Harris! A 25-yard scamper. They move 70 yards in 5 plays. A first touchdown of the day. It was to Franco Harris, who took the ball left, bounced off one defender, turned up the left sideline, and drove into the end zone. It comes with 14 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the game. Franco is running off now. He's getting a standing ovation. Roy Girella's in for the conversion attempt. Joe Green meets Franco Harris, gives him a big handshake. Mean Joe Green. Walden is holding the ball as down. Girella boots it up, and it's good. It's good. So there's a timeout with the score. Pittsburgh 10, Oakland nothing. How this works.
Other happenings in sports today. Johnny Gunther won the first professional bowling tournament of 1976, the $75,000 Ford Open at Los Angeles on Saturday. The Seattle Pro came from 3rd place, defeated Jimmy Certain 227 to 199 in the final game to pick up his 11th PBA title. Dave Glenn's a little-known 27-year-old from Miami is the leader going into the final round today of the $65,000 Lennox Golf Tournament at Monterey, California. Bob Risch is 3 strokes back in 2nd place. Rod Funseth, Larry Ziegler, and Mark Hayes are 6 swings back. And first-round leader Dave Stockton is out of contention for the $12,000 first prize. And in tennis at Dallas, Texas, Martina Navratilova teams with Marty Reason today in a semifinal match against Britishers Virginia Wade and Mark Cox in the $80,000 World Mixed Doubles title.
Lindsey Nelson, a fantastic crackback block by John Stallworth, made the whole play possible. A 26-yard run. with the football for the touchdown by Franco Harris, but it was Stallworth who went down, then turned, made a crackback block on one linebacker, took out two men crossing the field at that time.
Jarrella now will kick off. Harold Hart and Clarence Davis are deep, standing along their 4-yard line. Jarrella sails the ball down. It's taken at the 25. Returned to the 30, the 35, to the 40-yard line. Pete Banaszak returned it. So it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Oakland Raiders. They have the ball in good field position at their own 40. The Steelers are leading 10-0. And these fans are in an uproar here at Three Rivers Stadium, having seen the defending world champion Steelers go out in front now by a score of 10-0. And the message board is saying defense, defense. Meanwhile, the left-hander, Ken Stabler, brings him out of the huddle and up to the line. Cliff Branch to the left side. Mike Ciani to the right side. Biletnikoff is not played today. Stabler, the left-hander now. Looks and throws to Ciani. And a move was made on the far side. Incomplete. Incomplete. The move was made by J.T. Thomas. J.T. Thomas made the move. Pass intended for Ciani. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 40-yard line.
He wrapped him up. That shot was right on the letters. A little low, just maybe a little below the letters, right at the top of the football trousers. I thought he had it.
Oakland Raiders back in the huddle once again as the throw increases in intensity here now. They come up to the line on the slot right. The running backs are evened up. Dropping back is Stabler. Rushes on. He's got time, and he throws, and it is gathered in by Dave Casper. Inside the 40 at the 37-yard line of Pittsburgh, Dave Casper. Tight end and former All-American at Notre Dame, J.T. Thomas. And Mike Wagner made the tackle. 1st and 10.
Jack Ham, Glenn Edwards, Mike Wagner, all of them right in that cluster there. Believe me, Kenny Stabler was throwing in the crowd, but he got it to him.
The Oakland Raiders trying to drive on downfield and get something on the scoreboard with 13 minutes, 20 seconds left to play. Ciani goes to the right side. Cliff Branch comes to the left side. They split the running back. Marv Hubbard and Clarence Davis. Dropping back is Stabler. Takes a look. Now throws. And it is gathered in. And it is at the 26-yard line. Casper again. A defender right with him. Tag goes to the offense, of course. It was Wagner along with Jack Lambert. But it is a completed pass. If they hit the deck and equally possess the ball, it goes to the offense. In that case, it does. 1st and 10 now for Oakland at the 26-yard line of Pittsburgh.
That's firehouse football. He came with that football right back down the field. Stabler and the Oakland Raiders.
They're in the slot left. Outside is Ciani, and the slot back is Branch. Dropping straight back now. Stabler throws to Casper again at the 15-yard line. Dave Casper goes out at the 14. Hanging on to him, J.T. Thomas. 3 consecutive passes from Stabler to Dave Casper.
Thomas and Lambert both over there. Number 24, J.T. Thomas, knocking him out of bounds. But here's the big tight end, the man behind Bob Moore, who was injured. Dave Casper, former captain of the Notre Dame football team, with 3 great catches. 3 fine passes from Stabler. They've moved down to the 14-yard line, Lindsey.
And it's 1st and 10 now. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Oakland in Pittsburgh territory. Stabler dropping back. They don't want to go on the ground. They found they can go through the air. He guns it incomplete. It was deflected just as he turned it loose. Intended for Ciani, crossing at the 11. J.T. Thomas covering. It's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 14-yard line. Casper's caught 3 passes for 46 yards on this drive.
And Casper was in the end zone about 2 yards, turning around, off eyes lonesome, looking for the pass if that 4th one had come to him.
12 minutes, 22 seconds left to play in this football game. The Pittsburgh Steelers 10, the Oakland Raiders nothing. Oakland back in the huddle now with Ken Stabler calling the next play. Out of the huddle up to the line, Ciani to the right side, Cliff Branch to the left side. The running backs are split. Marv Hubbard to the right and Clarence Davis to the left. But Stabler wants to throw. He's dropped back again. Look. Tries it now. Ciani, touchdown. Ciani took it in front of the goal post, running laterally along the goal line for a touchdown. It is a touchdown for the Oakland Raiders. A 14-yard pass from Stabler to Ciani. Used the very same play for a touchdown against Cincinnati last Sunday at Alameda Oakland County Alameda Stadium. Ball is brought out now for the conversion attempt. They move 60 yards in 6 plays. Stabler will hold this one for George Blanda, 48 years of age, last September. Scored more points than any man in the history of the game. It's booted up. Blanda's extra point is good. So with the score, Pittsburgh 10, Oakland 7, there's a timeout on the field.
Pro football's controversial Rozelle rule, which was declared illegal by a federal judge last week, has been invoked only 5 times in its 12-year history. The rule empowered NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle to set compensation for a free agent who plays out his option and switches to another team. It was adopted by the owners in 1963, and in 41 cases, the 2 teams involved in such switches agreed between themselves on terms of the transfers. Rozelle first used his authority in 1968 when cornerback Pat Fisher became a free agent after 7 seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals and jumped to the Washington Redskins. When the 2 clubs failed on their own to agree on compensation, Rozelle awarded the Cardinals a second-round choice in the next college draft and a third-round pick for the following year. There was only one case this past season. It led to a court defeat for the Rozelle rule. Detroit's Ron Jesse signed as a free agent with the Rams, and the commissioner ordered Los Angeles running back Cullen Bryant to be sent to the Lions as payment.
Well, Kenny Stabler had 1 minute and 55 seconds after the Steelers got their first touchdown of the ball game and went ahead 10-0. Stabler moved his ball club in 6 plays, 3 great passes to Casper, moved it right down and threw a touchdown pass in the end zone. It is 10.
Will field the ball at his 6-yard line. He's back to the 10, goes left to the 15. Collier to 20, 25. Collier breaks it up to the 40. Gets back toward the inside. It's brought down from behind by Ray Guy. Ray Guy, the kicker, brought him down at the 48-yard line. A fine run back by Mike Collier. Ray Guy, the kicker, brought him down. It is spotted at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Steelers in their own territory.
Reggie Harrison made a great block on Guy, had a standing block on Guy, and Guy played him off until just the right minute. The only man who could make the tackle. Guy did a tremendous defensive job on that.
Harris has carried 18 times for 60 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 receptions for 50 yards. Bradshaw trying to get it to Franco Harris. Out in the right flat, overthrow him incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 48, and you hear some oohs and ahs because it's the kind of pass which, if intercepted, can be taken right in because there's no one between you and the goal line.
No, sir. They ring the school bell when you pick those kind off.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Steelers at their own 48-yard line. Steelers are leading now by a score of 10-7. 11 minutes, 58 seconds left to play in the game. Stallworth goes to the right side now. And Reggie Garrett comes to the right side. Reggie Garrett's in there as a wide receiver right. Bradshaw with a quick pitch to Franco Harris. Coming wide to the right side, but closed off. He was looking to see if he could cut back. Skip Thomas closed him off. Mr. Death came up to make the tackle from the left corner. Franco went out of bounds for a loss of a yard, so it's going to be 3rd and 11 at the 47. Big 3rd down play coming now for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I like what Don Meredith said down there a while ago before the ball game got underway. One of the guys was talking to him and said, "I'm going to get me one of them heated blankets." Another one said, "I want to get me some fur-lined shoes." And Don says, "I'm going to get me a ticket home."
3rd down at 11 yards to go. Pittsburgh Steelers in possession in their own territory. Stallworth to the left side. Garrett to the right side. Dropping straight back, Terry Bradshaw sets up to throw. Up the middle and almost intercepted. Charles Phillips almost had it. As a matter of fact, he had it in his hands and simply could not hold on. The intended receiver was Randy Grossman. It's 4th and 11 at the 47, and the punting unit comes on as the Steelers will have to give it up, and the Oakland Raiders will see what they can do about moving it again against the Pittsburgh defense. Bobby Walton's in to do the punting. Gianni comes in, says something to the deep man back there, and that deep man is Neil Colsey, the rookie from Ohio State. Fine kick return, man. Ciani is about 15 yards in advance of him in tandem. They're going to rush 9. Here's the end-over-end kick. It's hitting at the 25, and it is picked up by Siani. He's at the 20, and he goes out of bounds. Siani went out of bounds about the 19-yard line, and it is from there that the Oakland Raiders will start. Reggie Garrett downfield to force him out. Ball is being taken at the inbound marker and spotted. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Bradley, Webster, and Kellum all were down on that coverage. Pittsburgh had great coverage on that. Siani could lose the helmet with a head in it sometime if he keeps picking them up like that in big company. The Oakland Raiders have won the Western Division crown of the AFC 8 times in the last 9 years. They played in the title game 7 times, have made it to the Super Bowl only once, and that was Super Bowl II. Here's Marv Hubbard off tackle right, no gain. Fumble. The Steelers have recovered. Steelers have recovered at the 25. Jack Lambert recovered. He is all over that field today, and Lambert recovered at the 25. First and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A fumble by Marv Hubbard, a recovery by Jack Lambert. Hubbard lost the handle as he went down. It was obvious. That ball squirted out of his arm, and Lambert was following it and pounced right on top of it. So now, leading by a score of 10-7. The Steelers have the ball at the Oakland 25. 10 minutes, 49 seconds left to play. Stallworth to the left side. Garrett comes to the right side. Bradshaw takes a look around. Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer are his running backs there in approach. Now the handoff to Franco Harris. Jitterbugs his way up for 2, maybe 3 yards to the 22-yard line. Second down and 7 yards to go. Bill Villapiano came in to make the tackle. The 222-pound, 5-year veteran from Bowling Green, Ohio. Steelers trying to get into the end zone again now. The defending world champion Pittsburgh Steelers. Art Rooney, chairman of the board, and Dan Rooney, his son, is now the president of these Pittsburgh Steelers. Here comes Garrett, part of the right side. Stallworth is doubled with him over there. It's Blyer left and Blyer right and Franco Harris left for Terry Bradshaw. Bradshaw gives it to Franco Harris. He gets 2. Moving it over right guard to the 20-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 5. The Mad Stork, Ted Hendrickson, to make the tackle. 7-year veteran from the University of Miami. 3rd down and 5 yards to go now. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, a big play on this football game coming with less than 10 minutes remaining. Steelers break the huddle. Garrett coming to the right side, Stallworth left. Blyer is left and Franco Harris right, widely separated. To give Bradshaw room to drop back, and he's dropping back now. Sets up, takes off a tackler, throws to the corner to Stallworth. Touchdown! Touchdown, Stallworth! Stallworth for a touchdown! A 20-yard pass play from Terry Bradshaw to John Stallworth. They moved 25 yards in 3 plays. Pittsburgh crowd is jubilant here. Walton is in the hole for Jarrella on the conversion attempt. Hands outstretched now. Walton waits for the snap. Fumbles it. Now the ball is fumbled. Picked up by Jarrella. He tries to run left. Tries to drop kick it. It rolls into the end zone. The conversion attempt is no good. So it is no good. And with the score, Pittsburgh 16, Oakland 7, there's a timeout on the field.
Well, this makes an interesting situation now. 16-7, a field goal and a touchdown with the conversion would win the ball game for Oakland. It's very unlikely now there would be a tie or a sudden death overtime in this AFC title game. That extra point possibly could come into it. We still have around 11 minutes to go, so a lot of things could happen with the icy condition. It's snowing very hard now at Three River Stadium. They opened up the game at 16 degrees with light snow or flurries. Now it's coming down pretty hard. The field, I would say at least 25% of the field is covered with snow patches now. So anything can happen with luck playing a big part in this ball game now with all these fumbles. 6 turnovers against the Pittsburgh Steelers and 5 against Oakland. But the Oakland ones have been a little more crucial than the Steelers' miscues. So, as we said, luck could play a very, very important part in the rest of the way here in the ball game at Pittsburgh.
16-7. The Steelers are out in front of the Raiders now. The Raiders, after the last touchdown the Steelers put on the board, took exactly 6 plays to move for a touchdown. It was on the passing arm of quarterback Kenny Stabler. If the Raiders are to stay in there with 9:30 to go, they've got to move the football again.
Roy Gerella tees it up on the 35-yard line. Harold Hart is dropped back with Clarence Davis standing along the 4 to receive it for the Oakland Raiders. It is snowing at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. It is extremely cold. Holding on to the football is extremely difficult. Gerella boots it up now. So to Davis side of the field. He takes it at the 8. He gets to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. And he is pumped as he got to the 22-yard line by Reggie Garrett. So now the Raiders start first and 10. They will start from their own 22-yard line. We have 9 minutes, 23 seconds left to play in this game in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Boy, Ed Bradley was in on that tackle there a moment ago. He was in on that tackle, and what a tremendous hit he made on it.
The Raiders in their huddle now with Kenny Stabler calling the next play. Jess Phillips is in that backfield now. Dropping straight back is Stabler. Wants to throw to Phillips and overthrows him and it's incomplete. Mel Blunt came across as the pass. Ultimately went to Bryant. And Mel Blunt came across the deflected incomplete. 2nd and 10. 22. It was Phillips short on the pattern. Bryant deep and it went incomplete as Blunt deflected the ball.
That was exactly the same kind of pattern that the Steelers had used earlier, sending Blyer out short and Franco Harris deep.
2nd and 10. Oakland with the ball at their own 22-yard line. They're in a slot right. Stabler's back to throw. And he hits his tight end Casper on the right side at the 28-yard line. J.C. Thomas made the tackle again. A 6 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 now. 3rd and 4 for the Oakland Raiders.
You ever believe you see them doubling on a tight end, Lindsey? Well, they would double that time. Jack Ham and J.T. Thomas doubled on Dave Casper because they were looking for him to throw to him.
Ball was spotted on the 29, so make it 3rd and 3 now at the 29-yard line. The Oakland Raiders trying to keep their drive alive. Sends Ziani to the right side, Cliff Rice to the left. Manazak and Phillips to the running back. Stabler dropping back. And he tried to thread a needle incomplete, tried to get it to Jess Phillips. He was double teamed. Lambert was there. So was Ham. Almost intercepted. 4th down. The punting unit comes in now. And the hand is for the Pittsburgh defense coming off the field. Ray Guy is into the punting. The Oakland Raiders have all but abandoned the running game. They have had left-handed passer Ken Stabler putting it up on every play.
And Pittsburgh expecting the short passes, expecting Stabler to go to the short stuff, to the backside of the backfield or the tight end. They've been doubling on these people and making it impossible.
Guy standing back in deep punt formation. Mike Collier has dropped back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guy is waiting for the snap. Gets it now. Hangs it up there. A long, high spiraling kick. Dave Brown takes it at the 27 to the 30, 35-40. Dave Brown is neckside as he moved up to the 43-yard line. Phillips outfield to make the tackle. Jess Phillips, a 44-yard punt. It'll be 1st and 10 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have the ball on their own 43. We pause for station identification. This is Mutual, your network for news and sports.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television System.
SCN Canal Zone.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Al Lester, John Murad, the Mutual crew in Pittsburgh. 1st and 10 for the Steelers. They're leading by a score of 16-7. Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer are the running back. Taken by Franco Harris. He powers in across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Picks up 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Gerald Irons came in to make the tackle. We have 8 minutes, 12 seconds left to play in the game. The officials take a timeout to get them unstacked. Stop the clock to keep it from running while they're getting the players up. Now it's marked ready for play. They have 30 seconds from that point in which to snap the ball. Just short of the 47-yard line. Pittsburgh Steelers, the defending world champions, trying to get back into the Super Bowl once again. Super Bowl will be played in Miami, Florida on Sunday afternoon, January 18th. The winner here playing the winner of the game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. Now it's taken by Blyer. He wanted to cut up the tackle hole, but could not. It's thrown by Monty Johnson just short of the line of scrimmage. Loss of about a yard. Call it 3rd down and 7 back at the 46-yard line. Linebacker Phil Villapiano had made penetration from the left side over there. Threw a shoulder at him. Blyer bounced right off of him. Continued to run with the football, but just couldn't get any running room. The most popular item in Pittsburgh today is the stocking cap. 3rd down and 7 yards to go at the 46-yard line. Here come the Steelers out of the huddle and up to the line. They are sending Garrett to the right side, Stallworth left. Bradshaw limping ever so slightly as he moves up now to take the handoff. Drops back to set up now, looking for Franco Harris, but didn't have time for him. Now throws up the middle and a diving catch made by Randy Grossman. It is in Oakland territory near the 45-yard line. Phil Villapiano made the stop, and it's going to be spotted at the 44-yard line. First and 10 Steelers. They gave Terry Bradshaw all sorts of time. He looked first at Franco Harris running a circle route to the right. Decided he didn't have time to get the ball to him, but then stepped out of the pocket and gunned it for a completion to Randy Grossman, the 2-year man from Temple. Garrett goes far to the right side, Stallworth left. Bradshaw changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Now drops straight back. Takes a look, swings it out to Franco Harris to the right flat. He runs back to the left to the 40. Still going, and is stopped at the 36-yard line. Darrell Lyons made the tackle. Gain of 8 on the play at 2nd down and 2 yards to go.
I don't understand how he's doing it, but Franco Harris just made a cutback. He put the move on Art Toms, that big tackle there, and went right by him. Art couldn't stop. He couldn't throw a tackle. He couldn't do a thing except see Harris go by.
5 minutes, 50 seconds left to play in the game. Pittsburgh Steelers 16, the Oakland Raiders 7. 2nd and 2 for the Steelers at the Oakland 36-yard line. Running back in close as Bradshaw drops back. Wants to put it up long, and it's going down there to Garrett. Incomplete. In the end zone, Skip Thomas. Going down there to Garrett. Incomplete. In the end zone, Skip Thomas covering defensively. Skip Thomas along with Reggie Garrett in the corner of the end zone right. 3rd and 2 at the 36. They were going for all the marbles.
They put the home run ball up, and that was a great throw there by Bradshaw. With those numb fingers out there passing that football into the end zone, he had dropped back to about his 42-yard line. He was putting it into the end zone, 42 yards in the air, and Garrett went up after the football. I thought he had it.
3rd and 2, and they're going to try to pick it up here because they're going to run a double tight end. They'll run a double tight end alignment here and try to pick it up. Franco Harris gets the football, and he's got the first down at the 30-yard line. Phil Villapiano in to make the stop. 1st and 10 for the Steelers at the 30-yard line of Oakland. Franco Harris driving through daylight to pick up the first down.
I got to believe the Steelers can smell the orange blossoms down in Miami right now. We may be freezing up here, but they know what's going on down there in the middle of January, and they can feel like they have locks on it at 16-7.
5 minutes, 5 seconds left to play on this ballgame. Stallworth goes to the left side. Reggie Garrett from Eastern Michigan comes to the right side, running backs in an I formation. There's Rocky Blyer, and he finds a little running room to the 26-yard line. Picks up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Monty Johnson came in to make the tackle. And you wonder what it means to a football player to get in that Super Bowl. Well, it means $15,000 for one thing. It means $8,500 to get into this game. Then the winner in the Super Bowl plays in the College All-Star game next summer. That means $3,000. To each individual, it could mean $29,500 apiece. 2nd down and 6 yards to go now. For the Steelers, they're up there at the 26-yard line of Oakland. They're running a slot right. And Franco Harris skirting left. A penalty marker goes down. He's pulled down on the far side by George Atkinson. Offside against Oakland. Offside against the Oakland Raiders. Meets with the approval of the Pittsburgh Steelers crowd here at Three Rivers Stadium. It'll move the ball to the 21-yard line and make it second down and a yard they go. Second and 1. Or the Steelers may have the ball at the Oakland 21-yard line. 4 minutes, 13 seconds. 4:13 remaining to be played in this football game for the American Football Conference Championship. This play-by-play coming to you on Mutual. Stallworth to the left side. Reggie Garrett to the right side. The running backs are close together now. Rocky Bleier, Franco Harris have been the running backs for most of the day. Here it is now. Franco Harris diving in. Got the first down. First down. Ted Hendricks made the stop, but Franco picked it up. First and 10, and it's inside the 20 near the 18-yard line. Another first down, Lindsey, as they move the football down the field, and the Steelers look as though inside the 20 at the 19, they're determined to put that super insurance on it to go on in there with the football for another touchdown. The Steelers are leading by a score of 16-7 and driving. They double receivers to the left side. That is Garrett set on the slot. Stallworth outside him left. Terry Bradshaw's waiting for the snap. He gets it now. Hands it off. Fumble at the 20, and Oakland is recovered. Fitzstruck recovered Rocky Bleier's fumble. Rocky Bleier took the ball, fumbled it. Fitzstruck recovered. And now fists are flying. An official jumping in and out to try to separate the players. But Oakland gets the ball at the 20, first and 10 at their own 20-yard line on Rocky Bleier's fumble. It is ever so difficult to hang on to the football this afternoon. Frozen fingers, snow falling, frozen field, artificial turf.
And now the winds are beginning to blow that snow right into our boots. Have a snowball, Lindsey.
I had one right in the mouth. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. 3:33 remaining. Dropping back now is the left-hander Stabler. Takes a look. He's got all sorts of time over the middle. Bryant incomplete. Bryant had it, couldn't hold it. He was hit by Ham. Bryant had it on his fingertips. Was hit by Jack Ham. It's an incompleted pass. Second 10 at the 20. Cliff Bryant just had particular trouble trying to hold on to the football on catches here this afternoon, and it is not an easy thing to do.
Lindsey, the president of the Mutual Broadcasting System, Mr. C. Edward Little, wants to pass along his thanks to all of the folks in Pittsburgh and Oakland, and we'll be talking about that in a moment, for making our broadcast facilities and all for this game possible.
Second and 10 at the 20, and Stabler's dropping back. Throws out to the right side, and it's incomplete again off the fingertips of Harold Hart. Hart could not hold the football on this very cold day. It's third and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Mr. Art Rooney to Mr. Dan Rooney with the Pittsburgh Steelers, to the PR men of both departments, to Al Davis, the general manager and president of the Oakland Raiders, to Commissioner Pete Rozelle, to Bob Cochran of NFL Broadcast Properties and all. Our thanks for a great season in 1975-76.
Third and 10 now. Stabler's back to throw. Humps once and is hit just as he does so. Intercepted and dropped. It's an incomplete pass. Russell intercepted it and dropped it. It's going to be called incomplete. Stabler was hit by Dwight White from behind. His arm was hit just as he threw. And Russell had it for a moment, but just a moment. So it's fourth down, and the punting unit comes on now. The punting unit is coming on for Oakland. Fourth and 10. The clock says 3 minutes, 13 seconds. The Pittsburgh fans figure that the Steelers just about have it won. And you know what? They do just about have it won. Although, with the score 16-7, we have seen in recent weeks what can happen in the closing moments of football games. We have 3 minutes, 13 seconds left to play, so don't go away. Stay right where you are, especially on a day like this. A great deal could happen in a very short while. Ray Guy is back. He's standing along his 5. Dave Brown is along the 30 to receive it. Collier in tandem in front of him. Collier moves up now. Watches it hit in front of him. Not going to carry deep. Rolling across the 45. And it's going to be down. Blown dead. In advance of the 43-yard line. Oakland has the ball at, or rather Pittsburgh has the ball at the Pittsburgh 43 on a 36-yard punt by Guy.
The Steelers are 3 minutes away from being American Football Conference champions again with a 16-7 lead. And I'll tell you something, Lindsey, they deserve it. They deserve it because they've played under tremendous trying conditions here in this driving snow at Three River Stadium. I know how a hind quarter of beef must feel now when it comes out of the refrigerator. 1st and 10 at the 43. Wide receivers left and right. Bradshaw angles out, gets it to Franco Harris. He takes a look at the tackle hole, comes wide, and gets to the 47. Picked up about 4. It's going to be 2nd and 6. Skip Thomas came in to make the tackle. Skip Thomas and Lynn Swan were teammates at the University of Southern California. Lynn Swan was injured and left the field on the stretcher. And now Oakland is calling a timeout. Oakland has taken a timeout, so there's a timeout with a score. Pittsburgh 16, Oakland 7.
Florida State coach Darrell Muda, who has won only 4 games in 2 seasons, has been fired with the money to pay off the $60,000 due and the remainder of his contract raised by an alumni group. He was vacationing at his isolated cottage in Hawaii, or rather in Florida, about 30 miles southwest of Tallahassee, and could not be reached for comment. A press conference was called for Sunday afternoon, apparently to make the formal announcement of the firing. The decision to fire Miller was reached Saturday at a meeting of Florida State President Stanley Marshall with an alumni group in Tallahassee. The alumni group reported to find that it had raised $95,000 to buy off the coach's contract. A university spokesman said the alumni fundraising provides the university with an option that it otherwise would not have. We understand that Lynn Swan was carried off the field. The Steelers find wide receiver. A team spokesman says that Swan has suffered a head injury. That's all the comment we have from Pittsburgh.
Well, Lindsey, our offensive and defensive players of the game for the Lazy Boy Chair Company. We'll have them very shortly, but right now the Steelers come up to the line. 2nd down, 6 yards to go for Pittsburgh. They have the ball at their own 47. We have 2 minutes, 46 seconds left to play in the game. Pittsburgh's leading 16-7. Garrett in motion back to the inside. Franco Harris, his own right guard, gets absolutely nothing. 3rd and 6 at the 47-yard line. Franco Harris closed off by Otis Sistrunk, 255-pound tackle, who they say came from the University of Mars. Clock is running. 2.5 minutes left to play as we now approach the 2-minute warning, the automatic timeout, with 2 minutes remaining to be played. We're coming up very shortly now. Steelers 16 and the Raiders 7. The halftime score was Steelers 3 and the Raiders nothing. No scoring in the 3rd quarter. Steelers have scored 13 in the 4th and the Raiders 7. They're not going to come out of the huddle. It's going to wind down to the 2-minute warning. They're going to let it wind right down before they try to snap the ball. They come up, but it's down to 2:02, 2:01, and there is the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes. Well, while they take that break, Lindsey, it gives me the opportunity to very quickly grab the glasses and to take a look at our offensive and defensive football players in this ball game. Our Lazy Boy winners of a Lazy Boy reclining chair. Our offensive player of the ball game, quarterback Terry Bradshaw. 15 completions, 25 attempts, 215 yards passing in this deep freeze this afternoon at 1 touchdown. He's been the man that moved this football team. Our defensive football player, our defensive player of the game, middle linebacker Jack Lambert. 3 fumble recoveries, and he has had 9 solo tackles. Tremendous for Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's Bradshaw, the quarterback of the Steelers, and Lambert, the middle linebacker, offensive and defensive players in this ball game for the championship of the American Football Conference. Next Sunday afternoon from Mobile, Alabama, over many of these same mutual stations, the Senior Bowl game. The North Squad against the South Squad of College All-Stars. And Lindsey and I will be in Mobile, Alabama, starting about Wednesday or Thursday. We'll be down there, and we'll be ready on Sunday for some football action. I may be down there till further notice. I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to need a blood transfusion after this. It's all clotted up. But players resume. Pittsburgh will have the ball 3rd down and 6 yards to go. They'll have it at their own 47. Bradshaw has gone over for a quick word now with Chuck Noll. They're leading by a score of 16-7. The Steelers are.
2 minutes left to play in the game. There goes Stallworth to the left side. Garrett right. Franco Harris and Rocky Blauer, the running back, for Terry Bradshaw. Dropping back to throw now. He sets up, takes a look. Now decides he'll run it. Second time today. He's across the 45 and across the 40. Monty Johnson brought him down. Bradshaw skidded into the 40-yard line. He stretched out there on the ground. Bradshaw stretched out there on the ground, and the trainers are going out now. Bradshaw carried, and he is stretched out on his back. That is the one thing that they were definitely worried about. For fear that he would carry the ball, he has been playing with an injury. He got to the 40-yard line, picked up a 1st and 10, but he is injured, and it's an injury timeout with Terry Bradshaw stretched out on his back.
Lindsey, we talked about that in the second period. We said, hey, this fella can't afford to run. He's only run the ball twice today, 2 times for a total of 19 yards. The first time that he ran with the football, I pointed out that was one thing that was a no-no. He was the man, and he had carried this team, as a matter of fact, all this ball game. But he was the man that had to be in there at the helm. Now here's his second carry of the day, and exactly what we said they had to look out for has happened. He's down on the field.
Now warming up is Hanratty. Terry Hanratty, the former All-American in Notre Dame, is warming up along the sideline. Hanratty has not thrown a pass in competition since August 16th at Berkeley, California, in a preseason game between the Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. Bradshaw went out with an injury. Hanratty came in, and he also went out with an injury in that game. That was the last time he's thrown a pass in competition. Bradshaw is being helped off the field. He's being helped off with an assistant on either side. Terry Bradshaw carried the ball down to the 40-yard line, but that could be a very costly carry for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Hanratty is in the ballgame.
Well, the young rancher from Shreveport, Louisiana, has done a great job quarterbacking this football team. On the sidelines as they wrap him in his cape there to keep him warm and to check that knee. He's sitting down there on the bench at the moment. There's less than 2 minutes to go. Bradshaw has to sit there and watch now, and he will. Terry Hanratty, the former Notre Dame star, will quarterback the Steelers for the last minute and 46 seconds.
Hanratty now breaks the huddle. They come out of the huddle and up to the line. 1st and 10. The ball's at the 40-yard line. The Steelers are leading 16-7. 1 minute, 46 seconds left. Franco Harris and Rocky Blauer, the running back, moving at the line of scrimmage. No contact. They're back safely. Here's the handoff, and it's taken by Blauer. The former Notre Dame drive 5 yards from the 35. Phil Villapiano came in to make the stop. It's 2nd and 5 at the 35-yard line. Hanratty had not thrown a pass, had not participated at all during the regular season. Until that play just there. Ball is spotted at the 36-yard line. So make it a gain of 4. 2nd and 6. And a timeout taken here with 1 minute, 38 seconds left to play on the ball game.
Timeout for the Oakland Raiders. They're doing it simply to stop the clock. That's the important thing right now. 1 minute, 38 remaining. And of course, it'll be 2nd down and about 5. 2nd and 5 for the Steelers. Here is John Stallworth coming to the sideline. Substitution being made, and here's Terry Bradshaw leaving the football field, and he's leaving under his own volition. No help. He's walking off the football field, going to the dressing room, and the fans are really cheering him.
He is not limping at all as he walks along the sideline, and he might just have been stunned by the tackle. Bradshaw is not limping, so apparently it was not any serious injury to the knee as he heads for the locker room here at Three River Stadium. 2nd down and 6 yards to go for the Steelers. They have the ball at the Oakland 36. The Steelers are leading 16-7. 1 minute, 38 seconds left in this game. Steelers have 3 times out left. Oakland has only 1 timeout left. Terry Hanratty waits for the snap. Got the ball. Hands it out to Franco Harris. He struggles for a couple down to the 34-yard line. And the ball got away briefly for a moment. And Oakland has recovered. The Stork hit Hendricks. Hendricks has recovered the fumble. And Oakland gets the football first and 10. So it isn't over yet with 1:31 on the clock. Oakland has the ball. Steelers are leading by a score of 16-7.
Well, just a week ago, that's exactly the words I used when there was less than a minute to play in Minneapolis and Bud Grant's football team was in front. And sure enough, with 39 seconds left to go, a touchdown bomb, and Dallas was the winner.
Wide receivers left and right on a double wing, and dropping back is Stabler. Stabler throws it to Branch, and Branch has got it across the 50. He is at the 47-yard line. He was lifted up off the ground by Mel Blount into the air, but it is a completed pass. First and 10 for Oakland in Pittsburgh territory at the Pittsburgh 47. And now we're getting a timeout signal until they can get them properly aligned, that's all. Now the referee, Ben Bryce, marks the ball ready for play. First and 10 for Oakland. 1:08 on the clock as it starts again. They're in a double wing. Dropping back is Stabler. Takes a look. Throws the sideline to Bryce and incomplete. He was popped that time by Mel Blount. Incomplete. He was popped by Blount. Second and 10 for Oakland at the Pittsburgh 47-yard line. 1 minute exactly remaining to be played in the ball game. Marv Kellum comes into the defense now for Pittsburgh, and Ernie Holmes comes out. And here comes Joe Green off the field. Mean Joe Green has come off the field. Second down and 10 yards to go for Oakland. Stabler drops back to throw. Up the middle, and it's completed at about the 32-yard line. Dave Casper took it. It's at the 32-yard line for another first down. First and 10 for Oakland. The ball is marked ready for play. The clock is running with 41 seconds left. Pittsburgh 16, the Raiders 7. Stabler is back. Takes a look now. Throws it up the middle, and it's complete. At the 23-yard line. Taken by Mike Piani. Piani was driven all the way back across the 25, and now timeout as the Oakland Raiders spin their final timeout. Fans are coming out of the stands now along the sideline, ready to rush out onto the field the moment the game is ended. However, it's an official timeout for the Oakland Raiders, their final timeout. The ball is being spotted at the 24-yard line.
24 seconds, that means they'll get a chance to come out and have one more play, and that is all.
It'll be second down and about 3 yards to go at the 24. The Raiders are out of times out. Steelers 16, the Raiders 7. Steelers have led throughout the course of this football game. They have never been behind here this afternoon. After a first half field goal by Roy Girella, a 36-yarder, made the halftime score Pittsburgh 3 and Oakland nothing. But the extremely cold weather has been a big factor in this ball game. We've had frequent fumbles, turnovers, incompletions, all that sort of thing. Jack Lambert, who has played a tremendous ball game, has been over at the sideline talking to the defensive coach. Bud Carson is the defensive coach, defensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers, former head coach at Georgia Tech. Second down and 3 yards to go now for the Oakland Raiders. They have the ball at the 24-yard line of Pittsburgh. The clock will start when the ball is snapped. Now on the far side, fans are coming by the guards and they are lining the sidelines. The moment this game is over in Pittsburgh, the fans will take over the field. Dropping back is Stabler. Sets up. Throws long to the right corner, and it's incomplete. Long down there to Morris Bradshaw. Morris Bradshaw from Ohio State was the intended receiver. Glenn Edwards covering. 3rd and 3 now at the 24-yard line. 17 seconds left to play in this game. The Pittsburgh Steelers 16, the Oakland Raiders 7. The winner, presumably now the Pittsburgh Steelers, will be going into the Super Bowl Sunday afternoon, January 18th. Against the winner of the Los Angeles Rams-Dallas Cowboy game. That'll be played later this afternoon in Los Angeles at the Memorial Coliseum. Here come the Oakland Raiders, and now Blanda's going to attempt a 42-yard field goal. He has not had one this year outside the 40. Blanda will try a 42-yard field goal. It's down. Blanda boots it, and it is good. It is good. A 42-yard field goal by Blanda. His first one of the year outside the 40-yard line. 12 seconds left on the clock. It is now the Steelers 16, the Raiders 10. And the Steelers will be expecting the Raiders, of course, to go for an onside kick here to try to retain possession of the football. That would be their hope with the score 16 to 10. 6 points behind, a touchdown and a conversion would give the victory to the Oakland Raiders. They have 12 seconds to see what they can do about it. At this juncture of the ballgame, the clock does not start until it is touched by a man of the receiving team in fair territory. So the Steelers and everybody else in the ballpark will be expecting the onside kick. Ray Guy does the kicking off. He's teed the ball up on the 35-yard line. Keep in mind the ball must travel 10 yards. And then if covered by the kicking team, it becomes their ball. That is the last hope of the Oakland Raiders. Of course, Pittsburgh gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men up there. 8 men up there fairly close. They want to go for the football. The restraining line is 10 yards in advance of the ball. The restraining line is the 45. Ray Guy now trying to get his men back. And offside is an ever-present danger on an onside kick because you're trying to get there. He hits the ball now, and the scramble is on. Scramble is on, and did Oakland get the football? Did they get it? Clock is stopped, and I think Oakland may have got the football. At the 44-yard line, Oakland got it. The fans are coming onto the field. 7 seconds on the clock. Now the players are saying to the fans, get off the field. Dave Casper was on the ball. Oakland effectively pulled off the onside kick. The Oakland Raiders have the ball first and 10. They have it at their own 44-yard line.
Lindsey, it didn't travel the required 10 yards, but it did hit a Pittsburgh man coming up to get the ball. It bounced off of him, and the Raiders now have it, and would you believe it? This ball game is not decided yet, and we only have 7 seconds left. Steelers 16, the Raiders 10. A touchdown on the conversion could win it for Oakland. So you know that Stabler's going to put it up now. They'll try the long pass. Price can fly. He's wide to the left side. Wide receivers left and right. Stabler dropping back. He's taking a look now. And he's going to Price. Price is going as far as he can go. Price has got it at the 15-yard line and out of bounds. Time is run out. The game is over. The crowd is rushing onto the field. A great catch by Price at the Steelers' 15-yard line. He had it at the 15-yard line as time ran out, and the fans now are engulfing the ball players, trying to make their way to the exit and into the locker room. A long, long pass play from his own 44 down to the Steeler 15. Going from Kenny Stabler to Cliff Branch on the final play of the game. But time ran out since they had only 7 seconds. And the ball game is over. The Pittsburgh Steelers, for the second consecutive year, have won the championship of the American Football Conference. They'll be going into the Super Bowl against either the Los Angeles Rams or the Dallas Cowboys. The final score in the AFC Championship game at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers 16, the Oakland Raiders 10.